I am Dr. Aparna, Associate Professor from Department of Electronics and Communication, who will be happy to serve as the MC for today's program. I hope you all had a very fantastic first day at NITK yesterday, and I hope you're all energized for today's program. So today we have a program which is designed to help you to get acquainted with the opportunities, resources, and support systems available to you at NITK. We hope to make your transition into college life as smooth and enjoyable as possible. So to start this program, we have Professor Gangadharan, Dean P&D, who has already given you yesterday a bird's eye view of the infrastructure at NITK. So sir would help you, so today we have sir who will introduce you all to his team of support in this under the Dean P&D category. So I request Professor Gangadharan sir to take over the stage and introduce his team to all of you.
Very pleasant good morning. Hope you are energized. Hope all of you had your breakfast today, no? Good. But the crowd is yet to come to the full swing. But very pleasant good morning. Let us just look at today's activity, because this orientation program will help you to make sure that you don't have too many things to be asked someone else to do at NITK, because you will know whom to contact and what are the facilities available, etc. So that's why we have stretched it, and that too we know you have been struggling for the last probably 5 years, maybe 3 years, to get into one institute like this. So we would like you to relax, at the same time get the input, what is required for your growth. And the next 4 years, you should be able to grow to a much higher level than what you expect. So if you remember the exponential growth, that's what we are looking at. Today I have the pleasant duty to introduce my team from the Dean's Office, Dean Planning and Development Office. So Dean Planning and Development takes care of all the infrastructure, both planning to make the infrastructure and maintaining the infrastructure, including the master plan. So Dean Planning Office has the Dean, then 2 associate deans, and 1 superintending engineer. Now presently we have a superintending engineer in charge, and also the Dean's Office is also supported by 7 strong pillars of PIC, that is professor in charges. I'll take them one by one, and most of them will be giving you a small presentation. We have limited the presentation to 10 to 12 minutes, telling you what is the activity they are planning and what they have accomplished as such. So my associate dean, Dr. Gangadhar Mahesh, he is the only architect available in NITK. He is a B.Arch person, and with 2 degrees from abroad, that is his PhD as well as master's degrees are from abroad, and he is essentially an architect. And he is a person who is doing the planning as associate dean for planning. In fact, We have a program called CTM, that is Construction Technology and Management, which is designed and supported through the industrial collaboration from L&D. And he was the initial person who was coordinating that activity. Even now, he takes few courses for construction technology and management. The next associate dean is Dr. Suresha. He is a transportation specialist from civil department. He is a professor in civil department. And he is also a proud alumni of NITK. He did his PhD at NITK in 2010. So he is taking care of all the developmental activities. When I say development, it also includes maintaining the building and things of that kind. The planning part of it is his responsibility. Superintending engineer is a very, very heavy post which required tremendous amount of patience working with both the client, that is the end user, and the people who maintain it. We have Dr. Rajashekaran, who is an associate professor from civil department and is a person with a specialization on concrete technology and related area. He did his PhD from IIT Madras, and he has to be on the field, or rather he need to be there in the field more than 12 hours. That's his time. And you can see all these professors have taken time to make sure that we live in a better place. So appreciate that activity, because they could have been just sitting in the laboratory doing their normal research. Instead, thank you. They decided to support and make sure that we have a better way of living and the facilities are up and running and things are planned properly. Then we have professor in charges. We have professor in charge for electrical infrastructure, Professor B. Venkatesha Perumal. Is a person with more than 10 years of industrial experience, then decided to come to academics. Very rarely people come from industrial experience to academics. After PhD, he was working in industry, then he decided to come back to academics, and he knows the nook and corner of every activity in electrical infrastructure in NITK. He could also synchronize all the generators. Even if one generator is down, other generator will be able to help you to get the power. Even then, we do have difficulties because it's 1960 NIT, the institution. Hence, some of the infrastructure is quite old. We are trying to improve that, but it's a very slow process in a government system when we want to make changes. Hence, you may have to bear with us. If the power goes, our people will be there on the field, both superintending engineer, electrical in charge, everybody will be there on the field, but the time taken for rectification normally take slightly more time. Okay, so you need to bear with us, but when the power goes off, you can relax. You have a reason to say why you are not doing what you are supposed to do. So that's not the reason, but when we have such difficulties, understand the situation and behave accordingly. This is Venkatesha Perumal, professor in charge of electrical infrastructure. We have civil infrastructure taken care by Dr. Ramesh H. from Water Resources and Ocean Engineering Department. He is also a proud alumni of NITK. He finished his PhD at NITK in 2008, and his specialization is water resources and hydrology. All of them will be giving you a small presentation. One of the nerve center of NITK, as I mentioned in my yesterday's presentation, is computer center, central computer center, both the compute as well as communication, that is in terms of data, both are provided by them. Dr. Mohit P. Dehalani is the professor in charge, and appropriately his specialization is computer network. And he does a lot of work on congestion control, congestion identification, and things of that kind. And is very active coder, both in Linux, and he does a lot of latest activities on compute. So if you are interested, even if you are not from the computing field or circuit branches, if you are interested in computer related, he is a person to go to. We have communication network, another professor in charge, Dr. B.R. Chandavakar, and he is a professor from computer science. He is a network security expert, and he is taking care of all the communication network at NITK. We have a very interesting person who came and introduce me to the audience now. That is Dr. Aparna. She is passionate about horticulture and gardening. Her professional specialization is digital systems and signal processing, but her passion is to do gardening and horticulture related. I'm sure that some of you have experienced the Miyawaki forest plantation yesterday. So she will be taking us through what she plans to do for horticulture and gardening, etc. How do you get touching with the earth, the mother earth, is the question. And if you get a chance, please make sure that you are involved directly. I know many of you are from the 11th floor and you rarely got a chance to touch the earth. So this will give you an opportunity to touch the earth. So she also did PhD at NIDK. We have professor in charge for safety and security, very crucial part of your life and our life. And he's a professor from civil engineering, associate professor from civil engineering. Interestingly, his area of specialization is uncertainty quantification. Uncertainty quantification. What is certain is uncertain, no? So uncertainty quantification is reliability. How reliable? He is a great reliable person who is also from IIT Madras, the PhD from IIT Madras. He will tell you what are the security measures, safety measures, which is implemented at NITK. Another very important area where NITK last year had to close a little early because we did not have sufficient water. So with that, looking at that as an issue, we have decided to work on water mission, Mission Water Plus. So we have a professor in charge for water and wastewater. He's an associate professor from chemical engineering, and he works in the area of polymer nanocomposite and related area, and is a PhD from IIT Madras. So when I just mentioned water mission, think about 300 acres and minimum 400 mm of rain. If you are able to preserve all the water, instead of no water at NITK, but from water is flowing from NITK to the sea. So if there are methods and by which we can make sure that we are water plus, that is a plan which NITK has. We hope by 2030 we should be water plus. So we have identified few areas where we can do some water harvesting, rainwater harvesting, and things of that kind. This is another picture which support from alumni. We could construct a very large open well which could store the water coming from all the hostels, etc., rainwater. But in and around we do have an Miyawaki forest which was also done with the support of alumni. So these are the few, along with the introduction, few points which I like to mention here is, if you are not just happy with what you study in the class, or just that is not enough for you, there is a place to go to, that is NITK administration. Ask, get involved in activities which NITK want to do. And the place which some of the activities are coordinated by the Center for System Design, the Water Mission Plus, Carbon Neutral NITK, e-vehicle projects, and the IRIS, etc. are coordinated by Center for System Design, where every student are welcomed. And hopefully this time you will also be experiencing immersive learning activity through an VR headset. We like to demonstrate and use VR, virtual reality, for you to learn one of the topic in engineering, which is normally called as language of engineers. It's engineering graphics or engineering drawing. It's called language of engineers, but quite often it becomes language for engineers, because many of you find that is not that easy to get through, but it is one of the interesting subject. We wanted to provide you an immersive learning. We have already kept things ready. Of course, we are not rolling out to every student this time. 10 headsets are available in Center for System Design. We will be calling you by batch and ask you to experience the immersive learning activity. If you experience the learning, experience the concept, and you don't need to remember, it will be there. It is like you are cycling or swimming. I don't think you never ever thought about buoyancy force and force balancing when you are swimming. And something similar can happen if you have experienced the concept. So we are looking at providing experiential learning. As I said in the last presentation, we would like to provide you 4 years of degree along with 4 years of industrial experience, provided you are willing to come forward. You have the hunger to make use of the opportunity. So thank you very much. I will have the presentation from all the associate deans as well as from the professor in charges of different activities. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you, sir, for introducing the team, a strong support team of infrastructure under the Dean P&D, Planning and Development. As sir rightly said, it is not very necessary that a student from one specialization cannot work in another specialization. So a computer engineer can work into projects of civil, or a chemical engineer can work into another branch. So all the students are very much welcome at NIT campus to get involved in different projects. So we will continue with our further introductions for today. So next we have So I request Professor S.N. Suresha to hand over a small token of memento to Professor Gangadharan as a token of gratitude.
Thank you.
So next we have our next speaker, Professor S.N. Suresha, Associate Dean, Maintenance, who would introduce you to the campus zones, gates, and surroundings. So welcome to you, sir.
Good morning. Hope you can hear me. Let me first congratulate you all for getting into this premier institute in India. Thank you. Okay, let me try. First, let me thank Professor Gangadharan sir for introducing all of us. As you can see, my name is Suresha. I am a faculty in the Department of Civil Engineering. Let's take, it may be taking 1 or a couple of minutes to fix the problem. Before that, I would like to tell something about myself. As already said, I'm a teacher or a faculty member in the Department of Civil Engineering, and then I do teach courses related to the transportation engineering and also some courses related to the basic civil engineering. I do research in the area of transportation engineering. When it comes to the campus, as you can see, there is a lot of built infrastructure which is visible to all of you. More than that, you can see the nature, the kind of environment. Those who are from city life, you feel that you're all blessed to stay here for another 4 years. And you will definitely get benefited by the kind of education and also kind of environment which offers you this campus. Okay. So please make the best use of all the resources, educational and environmental resources available in the campus. So today, regarding this presentation, I have added couple of extra slides to my presentation in the last minute. So my presentation is all about campus maintenance process and team involved in this process. So as already informed, Professor Gangadharan is the Dean P&D, and then he is heading all of us. And then professor in charge, we have already, that is, Professor Ramesh, Professor Parimal, Professor Jagannathan, Professor Mohit Tehlani, Professor Chandravakar, and then Madam Aparna, Professor Aparna, and then my colleague S. Balu. All of us, we are working, all of them are working as a professor in charge. And the backbone of all our activities, office of the superintendent engineer. So it is responsible for the construction, maintenance of civil, electrical, water and wastewater infrastructure. And this particular office is also responsible for the preparation of proposals and then estimates, and then execute the work based on the requirements from the various corners of the institute. So they are the backbone. Now I showed you this, components of our organization within the Dean P&D. But more important is how these things will work. So there is a coordination for that. Recently in the institute, associate deans positions were established, and here is the flow of work where dean will be helped by PICs, professor in charge of various domains, and they also advise or guide office of the superintendent engineer on various matters. And also there is a beeline connection between office of the superintendent engineer and Dean P&D on important aspects where they may need not to wait for PICs on certain issues. So there is a direct connection between the Dean P&D office and then office of the superintendent engineer. And we do, associate deans also get regularly interaction with the Dean P&D. This is our, I'm not showing you the complexity involved in our organization within the Dean P&D. There are many more entities I need to show, but to make it simple, I'm showing you the simplest flow chart possible, right? So this is how we work. And then I am the presenter. Here you can see Suresha, I am the presenter. And when it comes to campus development, we have a land area of around 293.96 acres, right? And then entire building area is just 10%. And then the road network constitutes 5.4% of the total land area. Sports facilities, 13%. You can see that it's more than buildings. And then we have 40% of campus area is greenery, and other amenities which includes overhead tanks, some tanks, sewage treatment plants, parking lots, substation, transformer yards, all other things together occupies 15% of the campus area. And then we have a peripheral public road, which is 7% of the total area. And we have also leased some part of our land, that is almost 9.6% of the land, to various other activities. Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay, these are the recently completed projects in the campus, very recently, maybe a year or so. One is Godavari Ladies Hostel, that is hostel block number 6, girls hostel, which can accommodate 427 capacity, that is 212 double capacity rooms, and then 3 single occupancy rooms for the people with disabilities. And this project was costed around 37.88 crores. And then hostel block number 10 for boys, which has a 500 single occupancy rooms, constructed at a cost of 51.14 crores. And the latest one is hostel block number 11, which is called Shivalik for the boys, which has a 200 triple occupancy rooms, costed around 43 crores. These are the recently completed projects. And then we have Okay, some of the projects which are in progress, one is a swimming pool including a dressing room, pump room, filtration system, electrical installation and gallery. The pool size is 50 meter by 25 meter and then estimated cost is 7.86 crores. And then the other important component or important building project which will be ready by the beginning of the next year is Lecture Hall Complex Block D, which is a ground plus 5 floors with a total area of 11,246 square meters, and the estimated cost is 54.76 crores. And then further, in addition to these building infrastructure, we also have ongoing electrical infrastructure, that is extension of electrical lines to the campus residential area from 33 kV substation at an estimated cost of 8.15 crores. So these are the projects which are going on. And then one more project which is shortly it will be ready for usage, that is Skywalk, which is constructed at an estimated cost of 3.19 crores. Shortly it will be ready to use. And then, about my role, Associate Dean, Development and Maintenance, basically I will be helping the Dean P&D. This position is helping Dean P&D in all matters related to monitoring, maintenance and management of institute infrastructure. So my role is to create and maintenance of infrastructure system database, performance monitoring and appraisal reports, perusal of reports and recommendations for repairs, retrofitting, rehabilitation and replacements, specifications for materials, workmanship and quality assurance and control, quantity estimation and costing, inviting tenders, scrutiny and an award, purchases, procurements and installation and commissioning. And then MOUs and documentation. See, we do some, testing during our presentation. We give you an opportunity to find all our mistakes, whether it may be a small mistake or big mistake. You need to identify, note down, and then tell us that these are the mistakes in our presentation. This is a task for all of you, okay? Let us see that how many of you are able to find those mistakes and then inform us that these are the mistakes, okay? So that's the hidden secret in our presentation for testing during our presentations also, okay? Now you got an idea that what is my role, okay? And also you can find some mistakes in the presentation for that is a task for all of you. Okay, next, this entire task is supported by office of superintendent engineer, and here the personnel involved in this office is mainly headed by my colleague Professor Rajashekaran. He has taken the huge responsibility very recently, and then as Professor KVG said, he's investing a lot of his time for keeping all of us in the campus in a comfortable position. So thanks to Professor Rajashekaran for taking that responsibility. Under him, I'm not showing you all those people. I'm just showing you important one whom you can approach in the cases of any emergencies. So electrical complaints will be taken care by Mr. Firoz Khaza, Executive Engineer, and then Mr. Mahalinganayak, Assistant Engineer, Mr. Umesh P, Assistant Engineer, and then we have a technician, Mr. Prasad, and then Padmanabh, Mr. Satyameda, Mr. Jitesh, and then one more interesting position, that is Mr. Lokesh Kumar takes care of fire and safety issues. Anything you want to know about fire and safety, you can approach this person. And regarding civil and then water supply complaints, we have Assistant Engineer Mr. Virupaksha, and then Mr. Ramesh Paul, Mr. Harish, Mr. Manmohan, and then Mr. Vinod. This team of 5 members will be working for this civil and water supply complaints. And then we have one more team, which is these are the people who comes and fix your problems, whether it is related to electrical complaints, or whether it is related to the water supply, or whether it is related to the carpentry. So these are the people who will be helping to fix the problem at your end, okay? And you can see this photograph shows you office of the superintendent engineer. It's very close to this building. Okay. This is about personnel involved in the who are working in the office of superintendent engineer. Next is typically, see you what you want to know is if something goes wrong in your room, then what you should do. So typically the complaints will be like this. I have, all these things are in quotes. In the past, students who have submitted their complaints, same thing I'm presenting here. So like, charging plugs are not working, fan is not working in room number so and so. Okay, don't believe that 120, maybe some other number, just to have to put some number I put, it may be of different block. Fan is rotating very slow, required new fan, charger socket is not working, tube light is not working, facing very difficult study in night, please do something as soon as possible. Like this, you can read all these complaints. You may, once you go back to your room, immediately you may find one or other kind of problem. Then what you should do, right? So next one. Then we have online complaint system where you can access this online complaint system by two ways. One is visit the institute website. Then once you visit the website, you will find facilities. Click the facilities. You will see the drop down menu. In that you will find resident engineer office. Once you click that resident engineer office, it will take you to a page of resident engineer's office. There you will find hostel complaint form. That is one way of accessing the hostel complaint form. The second one is directly type this web page address. Once you reach that web page, you can directly access the hostel complaint form. Here is the simple complaint form, hostel complaint. Don't use the other complaint forms like general complaint form. No, it's a hostel complaint form. Here complaints can be of electrical, civil, water supply and firefighting under these 4 categories. So what you need to do is you need to fill this form correctly with the correct information. Then only your problem can be solved quickly and easily. If you don't provide proper information, it is not easy to solve it quickly. So it requires you to fill all these information, and then if you select electrical complaint, then the details of the complaint you need to write properly. And also your availability in the hostel room, you should mention when you will be available for fixing, because the personnel will visit and you will not be there in the hostel room, then you cannot expect things to happen quickly, right? So that's why you have to please mention that when you will be available at your place to fix the problem. Okay. So once you do it, then once you submit, then a complaint submission number will generate, complaint number will be generated, the form will be generated. Please note down this complaint number, because this number, in case if the complaint is not fixed, then you can give the feedback. So in that nature of complaint, as I told you that you need to mention, describe the nature of complaint and also mention your availability in the room. Okay, next one. If in case, if your problem is not fixed, then you can use the feedback form, enter your complaint number, whether it is attended or not. If it is attended, please give a positive feedback in case if it is fixed to your requirement, and then you write your feedback in the given space. And you have to give at least 2 working days to fix your problem, because they may have if there is many complaints to be addressed during some season, it takes some more time. Otherwise, within 2 days, immediately they will try to fix your problem. In case if the problem is not fixed, then this is the complaint escalation matrix. What you need to do is, you need to first contact, at present it is Professor Rajashekaran who is heading this office. Maybe later if other person occupies that position, then you have to occupy that, you have to contact that person. At this point of time, Professor Rajashekaran is heading, and you will be contacting to his office address, not his personal contact number. In this case, his designation is superintendent engineer. You can drop a mail that your problem is not being fixed, or you can also access his, dial to his office number. You can contact and then inform about the problems which are not being fixed yet. If there in the level 1, if I hope that you will need not to come to this matrix at all, everything will be solved. But still, in case if it is not solved, you can access to the level 1, and it's the rarest case. If problem if it is not solved at level 1, it's very decimal percentages. Then you can come to the second level, associate dean. Email ID is there, and then landline number is there. You can, and even at the level 2, if the problem is not solved, then you can go to the third level, that is Dean P&D. You can write an email. So do not drop a mail directly to the Dean P&D or to the director. Immediately, as soon as you face a problem, don't write a complaint to the director. Okay. So there is a process. Okay. If it is not resolved in any of these stages, then you can write to the director and higher authorities. Okay. This is the complaint escalation matrix. And then in the conclusion, what I want to highlight is the important points. In the complaint form, use appropriate complaint form. Fill compulsory fields with correct information. In the complaint box, describe the nature of the complaint, the date and time of your availability, and then do not forget to note down the complaint number for further follow-up. Now it's a time for your feedback. I have a question for you. Let us see that, I hope you see that the problem is you go back to your hostel and then you will find the ceiling fan is not working. So then what do you do? You have 5 options. First, register your complaint using the online complaint form and note down the complaint number. Option A. Option B is email your complaint to the superintendent engineer. Option C, email your complaint to the associate dean. Option D, email complaint to the Dean P&D. Option E, directly write a complaint to the director. I could have included option F, that is write an email to Ministry of Education. So I felt like it's not required because the space is already congested. So I kept only up to director. Okay. So how many of you, how many of you choose A? Please raise your hands. Good. So my presentation makes sense. Okay. How many of you choose option B? Okay. None. Okay, good. Option C? Okay, I understand that you have understood thing. Thank you all for listening to my presentation. Hope you got an idea about our maintenance. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for guiding the students as how you can file the complaints in the hostel office. I request our next speaker, Professor H. Ramesh, to hand over a small memento to Professor Suresh. We can make this session more interactive. We can always ask questions. So it's not necessary that the speaker will keep speaking and you go on with your mobile. So if you have any doubts, you can please ask the doubts or any kind of clarifications, which we can, everyone will be benefited by this. Yes. So next I request Professor H. Ramesh, who is Professor in charge for Civil Infrastructure, to give you some details on hostels, departments, and other aspects. There is a small notification, so we will have some questions in between, which is from our speakers. So some small points which our speakers have mentioned in their presentations, I'll be quickly asking somewhere in between, sometime after every speaker. So we will see what is the level of your concentration or your interaction in this particular aspect, right?
Okay, fine. Very good morning to all. Respected Dean, staff, faculties, and students, and their parents. I'm Dr. Ramesh from Water Resources and Ocean Engineering Department. Currently, I'm given a charge of this professor in charge for civil infrastructure. Being a civil engineering background, it's my duty to take up this the challenging task under the able guidance of Professor K.V. Gangadharan, Dean, Planning and Development. So I must thank Professor Suresha, Dean, Associate Dean. He has simplified my job of telling the infrastructures of NITK because he has already given an overview of the recently completed projects at NITK, Surathkal. With this, I think I would like to start my presentation. This is the image, I think, taken, the background image during our NITK Kite Fest. So, every year we used to have this Kite Fest at our beach, NITK beach. I think you could see a lot of people or students, they are enjoying this Kite Fest. And you can see our panoramic view of NITK campus from the higher altitude. So to become the world-class institution, the basic pillars of such the institution or anything, we must have a strong infrastructure facilities. Then comes what is there inside the building or whatever it is, like research equipments or whatever it is. So first we need to create the world-class infrastructure, especially the civil and electrical infrastructures. So you just imagine as an institute of national importance, NITK has 14 core teaching departments as well as research centers. So in addition to these 14 departments, so we have common facilities because all the departments alone cannot extend their facilities for all the departments. Say for example, if I want as a water resources engineer and a part of remote sensing expert, if I want to utilize the parallel computing system or something, I cannot have that facility. So that's why we should have a common facilities so that all students and other the departments or interdisciplinary researchers can make use of such facilities. So accordingly, we have a research center like common pool of the education is nothing but the libraries where you can find lot of journals, textbooks, reference books, and other periodicals. We have a central research facility. I think probably you might have seen that central research facility in front of our CSD department. So, in which I think I'm not going to talk about what is there inside there, that building. The respective head of the department, probably after the morning session, when you visit each and every department, I think they will be identifying or they will be describing what is their research capabilities inside that particular building. So I'm focusing only on civil infrastructures. Similarly, we have this career development center. I think everybody wants, as an aspirant candidate at NITK Surathkal, I want to have some kind of a well-renowned company in which I should get a job. So we have a central computer center, I think in front of our this Silver Jubilee Hall, where our most of our computers, the first year laboratories and other things, computer-based laboratories. So will be conducted in such common facilities. Then healthcare center in order to take care of all our staff, students, and their dependents. And finally, guest house. See, this is another facility we have. We have 4 guest houses. So one is something like AC and non-AC, air conditioned and non-air conditioned. So you can make use of this facility for your parents when they come to NITK for a short duration to take care of your health and other things. The other one is the resident office, as Professor Suresh has already highlighted. That is the place where I think all our civil and electrical infrastructure, including water. So he will be taking care of that one. I think that office is located close to our mega hostel. Then we have sports. We have hostels, and then we have a separate zone for residents like staffs and the teaching and non-teaching staffs, where their families can reside on this campus on the northern side. So this is the map of NITK Surathkal. I think as you can see here, this is the way to beach. So from here, so this entire area is called as a Western Campus. In that Western Campus, we have 3 to 4 departments like computer science, IT, electrical, electronics, hostels, this guest house. They are all situated on this. And in addition to this one, we have a STEP entrepreneurship park, and we have a yogic center. So yogic center is located here. So you can also make use of this facility for your the wellness of your health. And then this entire area is called as the Eastern Campus, in which I think we have the rest of the departments like civil, mechanical, mining, metallurgy, basic sciences, and then School of Management, and then all other residences. See, this is the boys hostel zone, this one, and this is the girls hostel zone, and these are the areas. So this is the campus resident area where the staff and the other people, they are residing in this area, their quarters, staff quarters. And we have an English medium school which is affiliated to CBSE for the benefit of the staff of NITK and the surrounding people. So we have a separate sports ground. This is another sports ground. And exactly at the center, if you look at the architecture, the master plan of this NITK, so on the other side, it is supported with staff. Girls blocks are supported with the residents. The boys are separated with this side, and exactly at the center, all our academic and research facilities are located. So this is our main building, and this is metallurgy building, this is mechanical, this is chemical, so like that. Of course, this is the map prepared by my own student who belongs to geoinformatics, MTech in geoinformatics. So, and see, this is the extract of this same map. It is exactly superimposing on the Google Earth. So we have the total area of on record as provided by resident engineer. We have 295 acres of land. And the total floor area is 1,44,000 square meters. It is not square feet, it is square meters. So it is floor area. It is not like a plinth area, it is floor area on different levels. And it is located exactly on the west coast of India at this latitude, longitude. So this is the beauty of the NITK. I think probably you have made a lot of survey while choosing NITK as your the next course of education. So it is not simply the rank of the institute or simply the one or two the parameters. So you can also enjoy this beach. So it is a natural kind of the add-on values to NITK Surathkal. So I'm not going to detail about all these departments, what is there inside. So we will go through this each and every department, their floor areas. Civil engineering, I think the moment you enter into our campus, the first building on the left side, so you can find this civil engineering building. So it has a floor area of 5,790 square meters. So of course it is a little bit old, but still we have the additional blocks which is shared by water resources and ocean engineering. Of course these two departments are same department. We focus more on PG branches like water resources, ocean engineering and marine structures. The civil engineering, we also support civil engineering subjects. We also support the first year engineering disciplines like engineering mechanics and other things. So we have mining engineering. It has an area of 2,290 square meters. Water resources, as I said, shared with the civil engineering department. We have G+6 floors having 6,285 square meters. So first 4 floors are used by water resources department. The rest of the floors are used by civil engineering department. So we have a sky bridge between these two buildings. So we have mechanical engineering department. This is the biggest and largest departments in NITK campus. So it has its own building and all its infrastructures. Mechanical has 18,188 square meters with the state-of-the-art facilities inside this building. Probably after the second half, when you visit these departments, I think the HOD will tell you the other the facilities. Similarly, we have chemical engineering department. It has 10,000 and odd square meters. We have material and metallurgical engineering. Of course, this is the oldest building in which this department is operating. There is a proposal from the admin side. Very shortly, they have a new building with all state-of-the-art facilities. And we have basic science block in which physics and chemistry is accommodated, which is having 11,234 square meters of floor area. Then MASCS department, again, it is of course, this is again one of the biggest departments where all our mathematics courses will be taught by this department. So again, there will be a good news for those people also. They will get a new block very shortly. Then School of Management, they have their own block having 1,266, in which our this Careers Development Center is also located very close to that building. Computer Science block, which is a very the youngest block. It is youngest block in the sense that the construction, the age-wise, the youngest block, it looks like something like an IT park. So those who want, I think you can visit that particular building, so you can enjoy. Then we have E&C. Again, this is another department where they have their own facilities, and we have electrical and IT department. These two departments are now situated in this electrical, that is again G+7 floor building. I think you can see on the right side of the highway. So these are all some of the common infrastructures. See, as I said, the importance of these common infrastructures, instead of aligning to each and every department, the cost and other things, I think, exponentially increases. So in order to avoid these kind of things, there will be a common pool of infrastructure so that all staff, student, faculty, or whoever may be wants to utilize it, so they can utilize. Like this is the place where Silver Jubilee Auditorium. So when NITK completed its 25 years of existence, so they have constructed this. But still, we are also waiting for Golden Jubilee Auditorium very shortly, probably in the future, because we have already celebrated Golden Jubilee year. So we may require, I think, double of this hall, because our strength is also increasing. So etc. Then healthcare center, so which is located very close to this CCC. where I think you will be given a kind of card, so you can make use of this facility. Then a sports complex. So what you see, this sports complex is the front view of the sports complex, and the back side also we have. So you have a cricket stadium with synthetic flooring. Then we have this central computer center. So it has a capacity of more than 300 to 400 computers inside. So all our first year and other things. Not only the first year, it has its own infrastructure. Probably Mohit will be talking about this infrastructure, what is there inside. So anybody wants to do some kind of analysis, modeling or development, so they can make use of these facilities. Then CRF, this is another advanced research facility which is available at NITK Surathkal, probably at the cost of nearly about very close to 100 crore. So the building is something like a small one, but if you see inside, the machine costs about 10 crore. So that a level of the research facility it has. Then other one is Center for Interdisciplinary Science. So where normally temporarily we conduct the first year classes right now. So once the another facility is getting ready, so we are keeping this facility exclusively for interdisciplinary studies. So we have hostel facilities. Total we have 13 boys hostel having a capacity of 4,076 numbers, and we have 6 number of girls hostels having a capacity of 4,432. Totally 5,508 students can be accommodated in the hostel itself. So of course I am not going to read out all these kind of things, the floor area. So it is available probably in somewhere. So with this, I think let us watch a small video of our civil engineering infrastructure at NITK Surathkal. Okay. To summarize, I think we have blessed with the Arabian Sea and its beach. And as Professor Suresha mentioned, so this is the another no, LHC, Lecture Hall Complex D, which is probably, I think you might have seen next to our library block. And it will be getting ready by January 2025 with all state-of-the-art facilities. Uh, it is constructing at a cost of nearly more than 60 crores. And this is another swimming pool. It is getting ready by this December end with international standards. And this is another for safety measures of all our students and staff. So in cooperation with the National Highway Authority, so we have a sky bridge. So this is another facility they have extended to NITK. We have 2 underpass. In addition to that, we have this one. And this facility is added with the lift mechanism because many people they cannot walk on the ramp, so that so this facility is ready for inauguration. So with this, I think my sincere request for all the student is that you please treat this NITK as your home. Don't destroy. It is your infrastructure. You have to maintain and you have to give it to your juniors. So with this, I conclude my presentation. If you have any questions, you please let me know. Thank you very much. No questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so a small question. Please don't Google this. So let us just check your how attentive you are for this talks. Okay. So we had a presentation from Dean P&D, Professor Gangadharan sir. So he had mentioned about a new water restoration project. So can you give the name? Anyone of you can, tell me the name of this project. There is a small reward. It's not a small reward. I don't know if you like. There's a chocolate which will be given to the. Yes. Yes. Give a round of applause for that. So I request our next speaker, Professor Perumal, to hand over a small token to Professor H. Ramesh.
Thank you. Nice presentation.
Thank you.
Okay. So we have our next speaker, Professor B.V. Perumal, who is an expert in electrical engineering. He will be introducing you all to the electrical infrastructure at NIT.
Check. Yeah. Good morning. I don't see the sound because most of the time we know that human brain won't concentrate beyond 10 minutes. But still, we have a whole day to go, right? I don't know, monotonously we are watching something and then it goes keep, right? So anyway, I try to manage and just think of if this hall is just dark, no electricity, then it will be a problem for everyone, right? The same thing goes to happen in your department, wherever you stay in hostel. If it is 1 minute, the power cut is there, I know how people used to talk, okay? But I would like to say what kind of a electrical system we have over here in NITK, how it is maintained by the support of our RE residential engineer office. So all these things, why we are giving us, try to understand. If it is, the power cut is for 10 minutes, there is a reason. That's where I wanted to give a brief view on the electrical infrastructure at our place. Also, we are leading towards that country for renewable energy. So in that aspect, how we are addressing to our country to become #1 and leading institute going forward. So I'm Professor Perumal. Basically, I'm coming from electrical department. Sorry. Electrical department. I'm a professor over there in electrical department. Additional in charge for this electrical infrastructure. This is the IDPIC. Professor in charge for electrical is to be used for writing the mail. Professor Suresh was talking about that compliance. If it is relevant to electrical, you can write to this mail ID also. So NITK, if you see this symbol, I'm not able to see that light over there, which is pointing over there. Yeah. Okay. So you can see this symbol. The symbol without electricity, it is not mentioned over there because it is more important. That's why it has come. So we are the high tension customer for MESCOM. We are getting it from the 33 kVA, not it's your home connection, what it is, a 440 volt, which comes into that your input. It's a 33 kilovolt supply we are getting it from the MESCOM. This is our substation where we have, I don't think so people have visited this area. It is very near, that's the backside of new sports complex. This is the yard where people are not allowed. So we are the people, 33 kVA incomer line. Our maximum demand at a time is 1800 kVA. I think you can play the video so that you can understand what
Power
exactly.
is the force that guides us from darkness to light. At NITK, we are a high-tension customer for Mangalore Electricity Supply Company, utilizing an incomer line of 33 kV with a permissible limit of 1800 kVA or 1.8 MVA. This is the NITK 33 kV 11 kV substation. Here, the 33 kV incomer line is managed through an SF6 circuit breaker with potential and current transformers situated in the transformer yard, all in accordance with electrical safety standards. The 33 kV input feeds into 2 transformers, each rated at 5 MVA. The output voltage from these transformers is 11 kV. The 11 kV output from each transformer is routed through vacuum circuit breakers VCB and then distributed to 3 key powerhouses, Powerhouse 1, Powerhouse 2, and Powerhouse 3. Powerhouse 1, situated behind the mega hostel, is responsible for distributing power to both the hostel and administrative buildings. Within this powerhouse, advanced control panels are utilized to manage area-specific power distribution, while synchronizing panels ensure efficient operation of diesel generators. The system is designed with a clear segregation between essential and non-essential loads, enabling optimized power management. This setup not only ensures reliable electricity supply, but also enhances energy efficiency by prioritizing critical loads during power fluctuations, making it a crucial component of the campus's overall electrical infrastructure. Powerhouse 2 supplies power to the western departments and the guest house. Inside, area-based control panels manage both grid supply and diesel generators, ensuring a steady flow of electricity. The system is designed with a clear segregation of essential and non-essential loads, allowing for prioritized power distribution during outages or fluctuations. This setup ensures that critical areas receive uninterrupted power, while non-essential loads are efficiently managed. The thoughtful design of Powerhouse 2 contributes to the overall reliability and resilience of the campus's electrical infrastructure, supporting both academic and residential functions. Powerhouse 3 is responsible for distributing power to the eastern departments and the sports complex. It features 11 kV circuit breaker control panels that manage the flow of electricity, ensuring reliable distribution. Additionally, synchronizing panels for the diesel generators are in place to optimize performance. The system is carefully designed to segregate essential and non-essential loads, prioritizing critical areas during power fluctuations. This arrangement ensures that vital functions receive uninterrupted power, while non-essential loads are managed efficiently, contributing to the overall stability and reliability of the campus's electrical infrastructure. In each powerhouse, the 11 kV incomer line is fed through VCBs to the 11 kV 415V transformers. The essential and non-essential transformers are segregated according to the critical and non-critical load, ensuring reliability and power distribution. Our diesel generator capacity totals 3.95 MW, strategically distributed across Powerhouse 1, 2, and 3 to minimize transmission losses. In Powerhouse 1, we have 750 kVA, 500 kVA, and 200 kVAG with synchronized panels to serve the boys' hostel, HESJA, and administrative buildings. In Powerhouse 2, a 500 kVA generator supports the essential loads of the Western departments and the guest house. Powerhouse 3 is equipped with 2 synchronized 500 kVA generators supplying power to the girls' hostel and essential departmental loads. Embracing renewable energy, NITK has installed a 1 MWP solar rooftop system with plans to add an additional 500 kWp using available rooftop space. These systems are part of a public-private partnership model utilizing net metering at the 33 kV substation. Our solar power is distributed across several buildings, including the main building block, metallurgical building, mining building, workshop block, SJA, and various hostel blocks. The solar rooftop generation began in September 2016, and since then we have significantly reduced our carbon footprint.
So this is the building rooftop.
Through these initiatives, we ensure a stable, safe, and sustainable power supply, moving from darkness to light, literally and figuratively.
So it's not over yet, just we are going to the next. If you are an electrical engineer, if you want to be a hardcore electrical engineer, you will understand this particular one is basically a line diagram of our entire electrical infrastructure. Just I wanted to give it as a feel that what kind of a system is, which I was talking about that the previous video where that entire spread across that 300 acre where the lines are going, it's from this network. So we have a generator in Powerhouse 1, basically the 750 kVA and 500 kVA. This is specific to that boys hostel and admin block. It is synchronized one. And this 200 kVA is for SJA, basically this auditorium. And another powerhouse, we have another 500 kVA diesel generator. And Powerhouse 3, we have this much. This is the new one. It is for that the people were talking about that the lecture hall complex D, which has arrived, that the green one with the cover. You would have seen, noticed that. Total capacity, what we have is today 3.195 megavolt ampere. We have a capacity, but our maximum demand itself 1.8 MVA. So just we wanted to say that the power is the one which makes the people life comfortable. So we have the generator in a distributed manner to supply the power. So other system which is rooftop, we are the 1 megawatt power supply we have started in the year 2016 itself, and it's in the RESCO model, and additional 500 kilowatt peak we are planning on the solar system. So this is basically an overview on what exactly it is about our 1 megawatt plant. How many, what is the capacity, how many rooftops are used, and what is the make of people inverter, and then it's supplying to the grid. Till today, we have a generator up to 2023, we have this much. You can think of how much carbon footprint we have minimized. So up to 2023, I'm talking about hard carbon footprint. If you want to make 1 kilowatt of power generation through the coal, this much of carbon dioxide, kg of carbon dioxide you are releasing. Till today, because of our solar system, we are able to do this. This is up to 2023, December. I'm not talking about this year. So again, we have a plan of increasing to 500 kilowatt peak. So it is going to contribute that environmental so hard, because this is a clean environment we wanted to create. So this is main building and metallurgy. You can see here, this is main building, and then metallurgy building, mining building, and this is hostel side. This is the block where you are sitting right away. This is the top view of your roof right now where you are sitting. You can see this. This is the other side, western side campus, ECE building and EEE and IT building. So we are proud to say that in all NITs, we are the #1 in power density, because we have a area-wise, we are the less, and we are today producing more electricity energy through this solar rooftop. So this is basically for those who are taken in electrical engineer, electrical and electronics engineers. So if you think that the thing how the system is working, if you want to be a core electrical engineer, this is the right place. Why I am saying this is a MESCOM supply, this is diesel generator and solar system. Basically we say it is a distributed generation. We have, this is the capacity, it is a living lab for you people in electricity point of view. Apart from that, what other engineers are going to do, that also I am coming into the picture next one. So our professor was talking about electrical compliance. This is another aspect how you can do with the electrical compliance. Basically in your hostel, mainly we are worried about our charger port if it is not working, right? So whether fan or light, it is immaterial. Your charger port, if it is not working, it is very, very crucial for you. So that's why I thought, so if the lamp and fan problem is there, you just go to that hostel room compliant, you can go to that iris portal. Once the iris portal is enabled, you can get it into that. So other one is, the main thing is, when you are into the lift, if the lift is stuck, don't get panic. This is most of the time it happens because this area is a coastal area. You don't know about the humidity fluctuations and also the temperature variations, okay? So the equipment which is working in this area can work anywhere in the world, we can say, because the fluctuation is such a very high, so it makes you to that the electronics component to stall at any time. For your information, just I wanted to put my laptop got hang right now. So I have put that other things, okay? So this is what it is, a practicality. So I wanted to say that, so don't get panic. You have that lift. In the left side, you can see that the numbers are written over here. You can call inside the roof cabin itself. There is a number written very clearly. You can call them. Don't get panic. Immediately, people will come. It is 24/7. It is 24/7. No need to panic. Okay? So this is for the electrical compliance. Just one more video, it is there. Just we wanted to play. It's a 1-minute video.
Care to explain? Bro, it's so hot in my room, bro. My fan is also not working from morning. I should have taken some calls in Kashmir only, bro. At least I would have been chilling with some boat. Guys. Has she always been? You know you can file a complaint on Iris, right?
Every student at an ITK is given an IRIS account. When you log into your IRIS, click on Campus and then select Hostel Complaints. Under the description, mention the nature of your complaint and the timings of when you will be available in your room. Your complaint will be registered and the problem will be fixed as soon as possible.
Yeah. So this is for other one more thing is, we have a project here. It is near SBI. There is a Urja project, which is an electrical charger. So to support that electric vehicle activity, bike activity, we have that. It is funded by 1970 batch people, done by one of the professors, Prithviraj. He is from Water Resource Department, Water Resource and Ocean Department. You see the structure which is made on electrical, but it is done by the professor from the other department. It is called interdisciplinary, which is happening over here. So which I wanted to say, electrical infrastructure, when I'm saying, it is not that electrical guy alone has done this. It is combined with all the effort, all the people effort. Video. So it's a solar power charger. So if you have an electric bike, two-wheeler, you can use it for your charging purpose. Okay, it is also grid connected. It is with all, we wanted to have a solar initiative. Basically, it's a renewable energy source, which is available over here. Okay, so we have a different aspects to be studied. Okay, so right now I have only one question. You have any guess on how much is going to be our electricity bill? I'm talking about NITK. Sorry? One number. Sorry? 0. Oh, wow, nice. Somebody says 0. I'll be happy. Okay, so that last month, students are not there in the hostel, right? So just I thought I'll give a glimpse on the number which is there from the MESCOM. It is around 50 lakhs without student. Okay, with the student, we get normally the MESCOM bill is around 70 to 75 lakhs. Apart from the solar generation, which is equivalent of my 5 lakhs rupees. So it's around, if I put it my MESCOM bill, it is around 8 lakhs rupees. If I added with that, I'm paying on an average per month, if I put together electricity bill is around 80 lakhs per month. Why did I say this number? Please mind when you go out of your room, try to switch off the light and fan. Thank you. So one thing is I wanted to thank the people who are supported apart from my regular activities, because previously all the professors told about my colleagues from RE office, Dr. Rajashekhar and team. But apart from that, to make these videos and other things, these are all the people. So you can see that how people are contributing for every work. So he's from Water Resource Department and students from these people. So we don't do the work alone. I cannot say that if I'm an electrical engineer, I'll go alone in one path, I'll do one work. So again, we are insisting multidisciplinary, go together to achieve our goal. That's it. Thank you. Yep, sir, please. So right now we have not explored on that particular one, and because our sea is not the like what it is in a Bay of Bengal, it is goes into the very deep thing. Is it's not going in this way. But here, Arabian Ocean goes like this. And also, it is a full of rock. I'm not a rock mechanics guy or anything. So, because this, see, I understand from that. The another advice for all the students, don't venture into the sea at any cost. This sea is not what you expect. Okay? So, it is goes within that, within 5 feet, it goes the depth of 20. You can't imagine. So, you don't know what it is this sea is. Okay, this Arabian Ocean, that to this Dakshina Kannada region, we say it's a Parashram Bhumi, so be careful with that. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you, sir. I request our next speaker, Professor T.K. Jagannathan to hand over a small memento to Professor Perumal.
Thank you.
So as Sir said, our bill per month with all of you here would be something like 80 lakhs. So it could, as he already said, we could reduce it by at least 2 to 5 lakhs if you switch off all your lights and fans when you leave your rooms or classrooms. So we tend to see that the students are not bothered about that. So the money what we are paying is your own money, right? So I request you to all take some attention to this. So we have our next speaker, Professor Jagannath, who would be speaking about water supply, treatment, and conservation. So as you all know, we have been with the problem of water scarcity and shortage in the campus. So it is very important for us to know what are the effective management ways and methods for conserving water. So Professor Jagannathan would give a small glimpse of this. Okay. So we'll very quickly have another question time.
Your turn.
Okay, so as one of the professor mentioned, so can someone tell me the latest boys hostel block, the name of the latest boys hostel block, and as well as the girls hostel block, both the names. One of you. Yes. Yes. Okay, boys hostel. And what is its earlier number? Yeah. No. Someone? Yes? No. 11. Boys hostel? Block 11, name? Okay, yes. I'm sorry, he will deserve a chocolate. Yes, come. Please share the chocolate with other fellows. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Dear Professor K.V. Gangadharan, Dean Planning and Development, Professor Suresha, Associate Dean, all the PACs and faculty members, staffs who are present here, and the young minds joined in our institute, the students and parents who are present here, and those attendees joined via YouTube. A very good morning to all of you. Myself, I am Jagannathan TK, Associate Professor from Department of Chemical Engineering. Took over as the in charge for this very important task, responsible task, water and wastewater management in our NITK campus. So today I'm just going to share some of the details or facilities what are available at NITK campus with respect to supply of fresh water and the treatment of wastewater and some of the initiatives taken with respect to conserving the water. Okay. So there is a couplet from universal literature known as Tirukural. It says, Neerindru amayadu ulagenin yar yarkum vaanindru amayadu olukku. Means that the life cannot exist without water in this world. Similarly, there won't be any flow of water without rain. Okay, this is written in 300 BCE or between 5th century CE. So it highlights the importance of water okay, how we should be responsible in utilizing the water, okay. So with that, let us move on to look at the facilities what we have with respect to supply of water, fresh water, and the sources of fresh water with respect what we have in our campus. So, while designing water supply systems, there are some standards. In India, we follow BIS 1172 standard. Accordingly, if there is a community with a population between 20,000 and 100,000, there is a demand of 100 to 150 liters per person per day is required for as a water usage. So the optimal value or which allows for the consumption of about 100 liters per person per day on an average, including all needs, all hygiene needs, consumption as well as hygiene needs. So the major stakeholders of this NITK campus are students located in more than 17 plus hostel blocks. So we have about seating capacity of or boarding capacity of 7,000 students. So if we consider the requirement as 100 liters per person per day, right, or per head per day, so you get 7 lakh liters per day is the requirement of fresh water. And we have residents of all our residents of some of our faculty members and non-teaching staffs. Those numbers will be about 1,200 head, right? So if we again use 100 liters per head per day, we need another 1.2 lakh liters per day of fresh water. And we have 14 departments with official activities going on. And if we ascertain about 10 kiloliters per day requirement, and we need about 1.4 lakh liters of water per day. Okay. So we have other amenities in the campus, including CRF, sports complex, HCC, LHC halls, LHC lecture hall complex, canteens, guest house, post offices, banks, right, etc., which will contribute estimate about 1.4 to 2.4 lakh liters of water per day requirement. Okay. So put together all, so we need the demand in our NITK campus, we need about 11 to 12 lakh liters per day of fresh water. Okay. So this is our requirement at present. And how do we meet this requirement? Okay. So the main source of supply of fresh water is provided or comes from Mangalore City Corporation. Okay. So which supplies about 500 to 800 kiloliters per day. Okay. This is about 5 to 8 lakh liters per day. And the rest of the demand is met by in-source or within our campus. We have open bore wells. Some of the example slides, bore wells are shown by Dean P&D in his lectures, in his talks. And open bore wells, and you have, open wells and bore wells. We have about 7 open wells and 8 bore wells, from which we get about 200 to 500 kiloliters per day. Okay. So this supply from both the sources varies subjected to seasonal or availability. So therefore, if we again sum up all the demands, all the supplies, we will be getting about 7 to 13 lakh liters per day from all the sources. And therefore, we could able to meet the demand right now. But our task is as mentioned by Dean P&D, we are making our campus a self-sustainable one, and we are progressing towards water plus mission. Okay, we want to make our campus to be water surplus. So we follow potable water standards, Indian standard BIS 10,500 with respect to drinking water. This is drinking water standards, which discusses about allowable limits of compounds, including heavy metals. Okay, so we make sure we follow that standards are met, drinking water standards. And this figure shows basically the MCC supply. So the entire Mangalore city receives the water from vented dam located in Tumbe across the Netravati river. And the entire Mangalore city receives water mainly depends on this dam. And we have dedicated line of water line, supply line from MCC with 300 diameter pipe and which is capable of delivering 1600 kiloliters per day of water. Okay, so we have dedicated lines through which we get fresh water from MCC. And so we must have enough storage capacities to receive the water, right, from MCC as well as what we get from open wells and bore wells. This is basically the available storage capacities in terms of sumps. So if you look at near English medium school, we have a 2 lakh liter capacity tank, overhead tank, sump. And pump house, near pump house, we have 9 lakh liter and 7 lakh liters of sumps and another 4.5 liters of sump, which is again located in the pump house. So put together all, there is a typo, so we should get about 23.2 lakh liters can be stored in these sumps. And we have mainly 3 overhead tanks for the supply of water. So near English medium school, near the entrance where you have main entrance through gate through which you entered NITK. So we have 1.2 lakh liters and 0.9, about 1 lakh liter, 0.9. And near Gymkhana building, we have another 1.2 liters, lakh liters of capacity. So altogether, we have overhead tank capacity of 3.3 lakh liters of capacity, storage capacity. And including all the building roofs where you have many different overhead tanks are located. If you sum up all those things, 11.3, and you have another 20.9 in new facilities what we constructed recently. So we have about 32.2 lakh liters of storage capacity in terms of overhead tanks in various buildings. So put together all, we will get about 58.7 lakh liter of water storage is available in the campus. So what does it mean? So we have nearly about 60 lakh liters can be stored, which means without supply of water, we could serve 6 days continuously water with available storage capacity, assuming we have demand of 10 lakh liter per day. Okay, so we can manage with the available storage capacity about a week we can supply the water. So these are the some of the ground level storage reservoirs which you can see nearby pump house and other overhead tanks located near English medium school through which water is basically supplied to other academic buildings and facilities. So we use pump energy as well as some of the places gravitational force is used to transport the water from OHP to other tanks. Okay, and we make sure always the quality of water. So often the quality of water is continuously monitored in a regular intervals, and we make sure we meet the standards prescribed by BAS 10,500. Right. So these are some of the open wells located nearby 3rd block boys hostel and bore wells located near the hostel blocks. So when we consume water, so obviously we generate waste waters, right? So which must be treated and used, recycled or reused for secondary purposes. So according to Metcalf and Eddy, so about 60 to 85% of the water supplied is generated as or comes out as a wastewater, okay, which requires treatment. So we must have enough capacity to treat the wastewater generated from various facilities within the campus, right? So suppose you have 10 lakh liters of water is consumed per day. we will be generating about 850 kiloliters, KLD, kiloliters of wastewater per day. So if we have 15 lakh liters per day usage of fresh water, we will be generating 1,275 kiloliters of wastewater per day. Okay. So the available capacity what we have right now in our campus is we have two 500 kiloliters per day STP sewage treatment plant and one 220 kiloliters per day STP and 140 KLD STP we have right now. 4 STPs are under operation and so the total capacity is about 12.6 lakhs of liter per day can be treated by this plant. So if our usage goes even 50 lakh of liter per day of fresh water, still we can manage with the available STPs. We can treat the wastewater. And if you want to construct new STPs, like 100 kiloliters of STP, it requires about funding of 30 to 50 lakhs, depending on the technology selection, what construction materials and the ranges and the regulatory compliance that what we need to meet, okay? Depending on which the cost of construction cost will vary from 30 to 50 lakhs if you want to construct one new STP with 100 KLD capacity. So these are the existing STPs, sewage treatment plants near the hostel block Aravali and near the quarters site. We have one 500 KLD and 140 KLD capacity STPs, okay? So you also need satisfactory functioning of STPs, which is crucial and challenging. It depends on season. And we need to have about 50% of the design capacity of the STP should be met if you want to function, have a good recycling capacities or treatment performance. And next 3 slides are related to conservation of water, which is also important as a takeaway to students with respect to conservation of water. So I request your more kind attention for the next 3 slides. So what are the don'ts at campus facilities with respect to conservation of water? Okay, when it comes to conservation of water, we follow 4 R's. One is reduction at the source itself, which means you reduce the consumption of fresh water so that you produce less amount of wastewater. Reuse and recycle, right? Reuse and recycle after with or without treatment. Recycle generally done with after the treatment for secondary purposes. And regeneration, okay? So rainwater harvesting and etc. Okay? So these are the things you can contribute towards the conservation of water. So while brushing your teeth, don't let the tap to be open and don't allow water to flow continuously. Same thing while washing your hands and shaving your face, okay? So even though it look like very little amount that you contribute towards saving of water, remember that little drops makes mighty ocean. So if considering a large stakeholders, so you could contribute to the reduction of water or consumption of water in that way. There are other initiatives taken. So some don't use the broken buckets with leak and don't let to overflow water. If you find leakages, we are detecting using a project known as AquaWise. AquaWise is the project headed by Dr. Prithviraj. Basically, we are in the process of identifying the water pipeline network in the NIT campus so that we can locate where the water is delivered and where it is received. And if there are any leakages, we are trying to address it immediately, okay? So another important aspect is don't litter things. Even though I'm in charge of water and wastewater, what are the consequences of these things? These are taken from inside the campus last year by me. So you can see, so as a friend, you always go there and pick your food, grab your food or packed drinks. You talk with your friend and walk in the corridor, right, footpath, and then as soon as you finish, it has a tendency to throw it immediately. So don't do that. So my sincere appeal to all of you, don't mind to go another 100 or 200 steps, you can find the garbage bins or trash bins. So put it there. The consequence is, this will be one is aesthetic pollution of the greeneries campus, right? direct pollution to the waters which are entering. These materials may enter into the water channels, may clog the water channel and clog the equipment, STP plants, etc. Okay. So without the support of major stakeholders, we cannot move or make sustainable development of our campus. So my sincere appeal: don't litter things. Okay. So the last slide, I would like to conclude with the responsible living at NITK. Responsible living is basically how individuals contributes towards, can guide the transition towards sustainable development of the campus. So there is a famous saying in US: if you see something, say something with respect to suspicious things. But here, if you see something, do something, in the sense, if you find nearby your hostel rooms, if you find any pipe is leaking little bit, even drop by drop, at least just inform to the warden office. They will inform to the concerned people. So you can contribute. We will try to rectify the problems, such as if you find something open, somebody open taps, water is leaking, don't mind to spare few minutes so that you can go there and close the taps. Okay. So don't litter and throw things, which I said, and try to conserve the resources, all forms, water, air, energy, and food, etc. So preserve the green NITK campus. So what you deserve to get today in terms of green campus and other facilities of NITK, the same thing or even much better one must be provided to the students who are joining 4 years later down the line. Okay. So try to preserve the campus. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you. Any questions, doubts? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Guiding the students as how they can be a responsible student as well as a citizen. I request the next speaker, Professor Arunachalam Balu, who is in charge of safety, to hand over a small token to Professor T.K. Jagannath. So now that you are at NITK, your parents should be very much concerned about your safety and security. So Professor Arunachalam Balu, who is Professor in charge for safety, would give you a brief introduction as what are the safety and security things that can be managed at NITK.
Yeah, very good morning to all of you. Anyhow, this is going to be the last lecture before the break. I'll take only 10 minutes to finish my presentation. I'm going to discuss the security procedure being followed at NITK. It is only for your safety. I'm Dr. Balu from the Department of Civil Engineering, currently Professor in charge of safety and security. This is the outline of the presentation. Basically, I'm going to talk about the security procedure that we follow at NITK and some guidelines for your safety. When we go to a new place, we always have a basic question. The basic question is whether this place is safe for us. You might also have the same question: am I safe at NITK? Which means your state of being protected from any dangers. Our answer is yes, you are secured. Intentionally, I brought these two words because the topic is on safety and security. That is why I brought two words here, which means you have been well protected in this campus by providing physical security measures. Right, this is our campus. This is 300-acre area campus, which is separated by National Highway 66. On the right-hand side, you have eastern side campus and this is western side campus. I think I'm going fast. Okay. Eastern side you have many buildings. Western side you have little buildings including your circuit branches and there is a beach on the western side. This is our entry points as far as our campus is concerned. We have got 9 entry points which are marked by red colors. Out of these 9 entry points, there are 3 main gates which will allow 4-wheelers. Not all gates can allow all the 4-wheelers. Only stickered vehicles can enter through these 3 gates. Only one gate is allowing non-stickered vehicles, which means the vehicles which are not having NITK sticker. There are 2 more gates which can allow 2-wheelers along with pedestrians which are in the eastern side near the hostel. Again, only stickered vehicles can come through these gates. There are 4 more gates which are used for the pedestrians. One of them is our beach gate. Beach gates only pedestrians can use. This is the general introduction to the security procedure at NITK. You are in a safe, secure and cohesive learning environment. Basically, it is environment friendly campus and learning friendly campus. Learning happens automatically here if you are a Pakka student. We have got a better practice for security procedures, both physical, social and psychological. We have got enough number of CCTV cameras installed in various locations. So be careful, you are being watched all the time. You can see the security guards here and there. We have security guards at various locations and most of the buildings. At all security gates, we have got the security guards 24/7 for the safety. Security patrolling is done throughout the day and night. Every 30 minutes, once in 30 minutes, you will find security guards patrolling around your buildings. Medical facilities are there. You can contact either hospital for the emergency, medical emergency, or you can contact security office for the medical emergency. Ambulances will come in time. Ragging in any form is banned inside the campus, both inside and outside. If you come across any activities related to ragging, you can report us. This is our policy as far as security is concerned. This is very, very important. You have to have identity card all the time. Whether you are inside the campus or outside the campus, you must have physical identity card, not the virtual one. Physical identity card will be issued shortly to you. And motor vehicles are not permitted for UG, PG and all hostelers. Checking will be done at all the gates. Please cooperate with the security guard. This is only for your safety. This frisking is mandatory for most of the students. You have to follow the gate entry timing. As far as the main gate entry is concerned, entry will be restricted up to 11 p.m. If you come beyond 11 p.m., you will not be allowed to enter the gate. Decent dress and decent behavior are expected out of NITK students. You know what it means by. You are living in Mangalore. You have to stick to Mangalore dressing, Mangalore behavior. These items are prohibited within the campus. Smoking is prohibited. You cannot say that you are going to smoke within your room or in bathroom. Nothing doing. Smoking is prohibited within the campus. Possession and consumption of alcohol is also prohibited. And possession, use of weapons, drugs, controlled substances is illegal. If you are caught with these things, simply we will hand over you to the police. This is very important. Please take all the restrictions as prescriptions. These are not the restrictions. These are prescriptions for your life. Some guidelines for your personal security. Keep always vigilant on your belongings. Take responsibility. Do not leave any items outside, be it in the canteen or ground or in classroom. Please don't leave any of your belongings unattended. Keep a record of serial numbers just for the safety purpose. Even if you miss it, we can trace it out. Lock your room, even if you're going for a shorter duration outside. When you are inside the campus, don't disturb the animals. They have every right to live on this campus like you and me. Don't try to trouble the animals like snakes, monkeys, peacocks, and so on. Don't try to tamper the safety equipments. Anyhow, you are being watched using CCTV. Be cautious with electrical components to avoid any accidents. Do not waste the resources. These resources belong to the nation, not only for you or for me. When you go outside the campus, you know NITK is being valued at high by the people outside. You have to match it up. Please carry the reputation of NITK. Know your limits. Know your limits in the sense, try to be a student. You are a student. You are still a student. For next 4 years, you are going to be a student. Please know your limits. And respect our culture. I don't have to talk about this too much. This is a serious issue nowadays. When you are walking outside, you don't mind. Okay? You are losing your common sense. When you are walking outside, you are simply losing your common sense. Do not walk in the dark places. It is only for the safety because there will be a lot of snakes outside. Don't walk in the dark areas. Do not walk on the middle of the road. I have intentionally put these two figures. My intention is not to compare the similarities between these two. There are 4 students walking on the road and 4 buffaloes are walking on the road. I don't want to compare for the similarities between these two. If you do so, outside world will try to compare the similarities between you and the buffaloes. It's not my intention to compare for the similarities, but if you do so, people will compare. And do not walk and talk or message while crossing the road. Do not walk with headphones in your ears. Recently, we have seen a lot of accidents because of this incident. And when you are cycling, okay, when you use cycle, follow the traffic rules, avoid pillion riding, park your cycles in the designated places. This is again very crucial. When you go to beach, please follow the beach timing. Beach gates are open till 7 p.m. Please don't delay. And 7 o'clock it will be closed, it will be locked. You will not be able to come inside the campus from the beach. Do not carry any parties in the beach. Avoid roaming in the beach alone. This is very, very, very crucial. Do not venture into the sea because NITK has seen loss of lives many times. Some of the violences inside the campus, this is only for theoretical purpose. If you come across any of these violences, please try to inform the security guards nearby. We will try to address the issues. Security office is headed by Security Officer Mr. Ram Prasad Bhatt. He is our captain. And we have 7 security supervisors. All of them are ex-servicemen. At a time, 2 security supervisors will be on duty. We have got close to 150 security guards securing the campus. We have a lot of snakes on the campus. Many of them are venomous, but you don't have to worry too much. We have snake catchers as well. And we have got firefighting services as well. Some of the activities of the security guards, and this is the contact details. Please take down these numbers and these emails. We can be contacted through email and phones. Last slide. NITK campus is a naturally safe environment for better learning purpose. You can feel safe, but at the same time, should behave as a responsible student and citizen, by the way. Take responsibility and contribute to the safety of the campus. There is no compromise on discipline because you are a student. Prevention is better than cure. This is, I don't have to tell too much about that. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mangalore and Surathkal and NITK is a relatively very safe place, but however, it is very important to follow the prescriptions given by our security PIC, Professor Arunachalam. So I request our Dean PND to hand over a small token to Professor Arunachalam. Okay, so question time. So again, please don't Google. What is the area of NITK campus in acres? Okay, 293. So another small twist. So how much percentage of this area is dedicated for sports facility as mentioned? Okay, I can't give the chocolate to all of you. So no chocolate. Okay, so we are supposed to have a break, but we cannot afford a break. So I thought let me take you very quickly through a nature walk. So I am PIC for horticulture. So I thought very quickly, which will give a small break, a kind of break to you all. Is that fine? Yes? No? Okay, yes. I'll take it as an S. Okay. So as I said, I would take you on a virtual tour of campus flora, although it is not a really prescribed way. It would have been better if I had taken you for a nature walk. So let us, look at some points which could be of some importance to you. Okay, so NITK is situated in Dakshina Kannada district, which is called as Tulunadu. Tulunadu is, as it derives from, the place has a local language which is called as Tulu. And as already one of the sirs mentioned, it is called the Parashurama Srishti. So the Dakshin Kannada area is called a Parashurama Srishti. So why it is called? Because some of you would have heard of Lord Parashuram. So it is said that Parashuram threw his axe and reclaimed this land from the sea. Okay, so up to the point where he threw the axe, the sea retreated back, and the space what is left beyond is turned out to be this area which we are all here. And as one of the sirs showed, there are a lot of snakes in this campus. So it is mainly because, geographically speaking, the sea had retreated back, and as a result, the sea snakes had adapted itself to the land, and this place is having slightly more number of venomous snakes compared to any other place in India. And as a result, the people worship the snakes with this sort of fear and kind of thing, but really it's the land which belongs to the snake, and we are actually occupied that land. So it will not really harm you as long as you go to its, trouble it. Okay. So the place what we are living here, it is, geographically speaking, it is at the foot of the Western Ghats on the western coast of Karnataka. So as a result, it has much of flora and fauna which is derived from the Western Ghats. So it has a very rich and fertile soil. As you can see, we have a very red soil. We have a good amount of rainfall. So we have an annual rainfall of around, average rainfall of around 4,000 mm. So that is we get here. We have a very rich flora and fauna, as I said, and very rich heritage and culture. So you would have all seen the film Kantara, right? I'm sure most of you have seen film Kantara. So this is very much dedicated to this place where we have what is called the Bhutakola. Similarly, we have some other heritage and culture, something like Ekshagana, and then we have Nagaradhan. A lot of Nagaradhan is being done. We have some kind of Janapada, folk kind of Nagaradhane, which is called as Nagamandala and things like this. So as you can already see, we have a very green campus already, which is a result of your seniors, senior faculty, senior students, and senior staff. They have put a lot of effort in making this campus a very green kind of thing. It is now our responsibility to make it much more greener, right? So as you can see, the NITK is already a living ecosystem. So we already have a very good biodiversity kind of thing here. And the biodiversity and the ecosystem, what we derive, it's mainly from the Western Ghats. So we have a very typical climate, soil, and all the conditions which is there in the Western Ghats. So almost all the flora and fauna that is found in the Western Ghats are suitable for this region. So if you know about Western Ghats, it is supposed to be, it is considered to be the hottest of hotspots. We have 3 hotspots in India. One is the Himalayas, one is Western Ghats, and another is between Indo and Burma border. So Western Ghats is supposed to be one of the hottest, or it is considered to be a mega diversity spot. So why it is called a hotspot? Because you can see that around 5,000 flowering plants, out of which 50% of them are endemic, which is found only in this part of the world. And you can see more than 30% of India's plants found in the Western Ghats. So as I said, we have the NITK, Dakshin Kannada, we all have a very similar biodiversity or the flora as the Western Ghats. So we have some, we know that today flora or managing the plantation, it is very important in today's world. So we have learned all these things. So you can see that what is the role of flora in sustainability. So these are the things which we have already studied from our school days, right? So we know that it reduces carbon print. We know that it absorbs carbon dioxide and gives out oxygen. There's nothing very new about that. We know that it is good in maintaining, holding the water, preventing soil erosion. These are the very basic things that we have learned in our school days. But the problem is that we don't practice any of them, right? We try to exploit the nature as much as possible. And now, as you already know, now so many incidents have happened, and the nature is very quickly showing a live demo as what can happen if we try to exploit the nature, right? We have seen a lot of landslides happening, a lot of flash floods happening, things like that. So we can't wait for someone from other planet to come and restore the ecosystem in our planet. We have to work on that. It's very important. So today it is very, very important to restore the things. So you can see that in metros, so it has become a concrete forest now. There are no space left for trees. So if you know Bombay or Gurgaon, Bangalore was a very, very lovely city some 20 years back. Today the weather is very, very bad in Bangalore, right? There are no space left for trees, although there are some trees here and there. Again, in the name of development, things are being removed. Development is needed, but it has to be done in a proper way. That is very important. So we have seen what has happened in Western Ghats, that is the Ghat, which is connecting Mangalore and Mysore. So everywhere we see that there have been a lot of landslides, the connection is gone, everything is gone because we have tampered the nature. So we are trying our small steps at NITK in conservation. So we are doing a lot of planting the trees. So it's not only important you plant trees, but it's also important that you have to maintain them. You plant today and then you forget it. So that's not the proper way of doing things. So we are also working on removal of invasive non-local trees. So if you look at the Western campus, you can see a very good green cover, right? So this green cover is due to a tree which is called as acacia, which is not local to this place. So this tree has been brought in some 15 years back from Australia, right? It's not local to this place. And the property of this tree is that it gives you a good green cover, but it is causing a lot of problem to our ecology, our biodiversity. It's not allowing the local plants to thrive. So under this, you cannot have any of our local varieties which are growing. And as well, it is a threat to our environment. The leaf that falls onto the ground doesn't compost. It's something very similar to plastic, right? You don't have a very good composting happening with all these trees. And it is such that it doesn't allow any of our indigenous varieties to grow. So we are trying to eliminate this, and in the place of them, we are seeing how well we can do this, plant some of our indigenous varieties. So this year, we have also started with a project called as Vrikshavana Blocks, which is very much, our director has insisted on doing something like this. He is very much into restoring our green campus, so which is following what is called the Miyawaki method of forest. So again, if you look at the metro cities now, as I said, it is full of buildings. You don't have any space left for garden. So very small amount of space is left. And in this, they are trying what is called the Miyawaki method, which tries to bring out the urban forestry. So it's called urban forestry, this method. So it was developed by Akira Miyawaki in Japan in 1970. So it was developed in Japan because there was very less space available there. So now the metros don't have any space left for any of the plantation or trees or garden. So they are bringing this, they are adapting this kind of system where they plant the trees very close, and the trees that are planted are of different types, different varieties, different size and things like that. So that is what we are also trying. So one of the batch yesterday already had a Miyawaki block plantation. So another batch would have some other day. So where we can see that these plants very quickly develop into a dense forest, and you have the biodiversity which will be restored in this place. So we also follow what is called the windrow method of green waste composting. So it's a very simple method that our earlier farmers, very cheap method of composting. So you don't have to spend anything for this. Green compost, that which means that all the waste that has been weeding and all those things that we have covered. So that is also what we follow. These are some of the small steps that we follow in our conservation efforts. So you need to get involved. It's the real requirement for today. So you need to grow with the campus flora and enrich your world. So it's not just enough that you become a good engineer. So if you look at after COVID, you can see that most of the engineers or people have turned into organic farming. So you can see that many people have quit their jobs, very high paid jobs, and they see that they have some kind of happiness in doing organic farming. So they have started something to do with this. So we don't have currently a green club. So what you can do is you can form a green club and see because this can lay a foundation for you in your future. Maybe, who knows, after a few years of working, you may feel that I can also become a farmer. I can also become an organic farmer, right? So you can have some kind of activities through this green club. So you can volunteer yourself in the gardening projects and plantation drive. And you can be mindful of green spaces. That's very important. So avoid littering and damaging plants. Littering. So the plastics, what is put here and there, what happens? It gets into the soil and it releases microplastics. So all our food, water, everything is contaminated by this microplastics. So, and it is very important to develop sustainable practices. So when you talk about plants, along with that comes the sustainable practice, how well you can conserve water, how well you can recycle your waste and utilize it utilize it. So all these are interrelated to each other. So as I said, I need to give you a virtual tour of the campus flora. I can't just keep talking on this. So I thought I've made a small video. Just all these pictures or photos are collected from the NITK campus. It's not from outside the campus. So you can see that how beautiful it is. And I would like to mention and give a special thanks to Dr. Prithviraj Yu. So you would have heard of him in many other in many other people talk. So he's something like an all-rounder. And also my special thanks to Kedar, who is from Photography Club, who has given me beautiful photos of NITK. So the last slide, which is a concluding slide. So I'm sure you have been very busy for 3 or more years in securing a good seat, securing a seat in one of the prestigious colleges, right? So I'm sure most of you have not got involved in any of the garden activities, or you may not have touched the soil, right? It's very important to have a feel of the soil. That is what our director wants. He wants every student to have a feel of the soil, because you know that each of us are made of 5 elements. Earth is one of the major elements, right? Which means that it has a very good influence on us. So it is very important for each of you to have some kind of feel with the soil, see what you can do with the gardening activities. And the last message, which is my closing message, there are 2 slides, 2 pictures put here. One tells that you can be as humble as a tree. If you have to rise to a very great heights, it means that you need to be rooted very well in the soil, right? So rooted can mean in 2 ways. One is you need to root, means you need to keep your roots. You can't forget what you are. That is very important. The second thing is you need to be grounded, right? You need to be very humble. So if you have to rise to a very great height, it means that you need to also be very much humble like a tree. And the second message is, so what can you see in the second picture? You can see all the mega hostel blocks, right? And there's only one tree in between, and there is a long queue of people waiting to take some, take some oxygen or some pleasure under the tree. So there is a long queue. So if you don't act now, this can be our state as well. So we need to be very, along with our profession. So you have all come here to have a good package jobs, right? You're all looking for what is the great package. But along with this, you need to also develop something like this. So we need to do something good for our environment, for our society. That's very important. And what we do, it is for ourselves. When I say society, we are also part of the society. So it's all our responsibility to work together to create a greener, healthier campus for future generations. Thank you. So any questions? Okay, so we can take 10-minute break, but please, all of you come back. We have some more important information for all of you. So we can take a small 10-minute break.
ಅಂದರೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ದಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ನಿಮಗೆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಅದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್ದು ಡಾಂಗಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಇದು ಬೇಡ ಇದು ಬೇಡ ಅಂದರೆ ಇದು ನೀವು ಕೈಯಲ್ಲೇ ಮತ್ತೆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಓಕೆ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಬೇಕು ಇದು ಹೇಗೆ ಇದು ಅಲ್ಲ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಕುದಿಗೆ ಹಾಕಿ ತಿರ್ಸ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಇದ್ರೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಉಂಟಿಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಾ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿದೆ ಅದು ಬೇಕಾ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸ್ನ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಗೆ
Hello. I request all the students to gather back. So all the students, please get back. We have some more important information for you all. Okay, so we will start back with our next session. Before that, again, a question time. So a question. So let us see who will answer this. Yes? You're all attentive? Is that fine? Yes? Who can get a chocolate? So what is the name of superintendent engineer in charge, which was mentioned by Dean P&D in his slide? Yes, someone? Yes, someone can tell. No? No answers? Yes? Yes, good. From which department is he? Yes? Okay, anyway, yeah? Yes, anyway, you deserve a chocolate. You can come and take a chocolate. Okay, so we will start our next session. So we have with us Professor B.R. Chandavarkar, Professor in charge of networks, who would be giving an highlight of the communication networks, mobile and internet at NITK, which is a very important thing for all of you students.
Good morning. I hope I'm audible. Last. Fine. So I'm Dr. B.R. Chandavarkar, Associate Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, and Professor in charge, Communication Network. A hearty congratulations to all 24-25 batch students for getting admission in Institute of National Importance, National Institute of Technology, Karnataka, Surathkal. And a warm welcome to all into the NITK family. Now you are a family member of NITK. Fine. So as we all know, like a successful communication system is one of the backbone of every successful educational institutes like NITs, IITs, and also our industry. Fine. So the two part of this particular presentation, in first part, will provide a very brief overview of the present and the future communication system of NITK Surathkal, followed by an overview of internet facility at NITK Surathkal. So NITK Surathkal operates with almost 735 official numbers for your communication with the administration and the department. Till August 2013, so NITK's voice communication infrastructure was managed by NITK itself. Now it is handed over to BSNL on a rental basis. So the present scenario is, so the entire NITK's voice communication infrastructure is completely managed by BSNL. So this is our NITK's telephone directory website, which anyone can access it through telephone.nitk.ac.in. Open a Google Chrome, type telephone.nitk.ac.in, or if you go through the main website of NITK, scroll down to the bottom, there you will see a link called telephone directory. Click it, this page will get open, where you can get access to all our official contact numbers, official email IDs of every individual. At the same time, there is an app for telephone directory. Fine, if you go through intranet of NITK Surathkal, intranet.nitk.ac.in, so you will get a link to download the APK file for Android, and recently we are going to release even the file for iOS also. So you can download this app in your mobile phone, even the parents can also download it, where they will get access to all our telephone numbers, all our official communication numbers of administration as well as your department. Here it is. So this will be the future of NITK's voice communication system, which we call as a voice over IP. So as you can see in this diagram, so in the future we are expecting all the communication devices, your laptop, your desktop, your normal analog phones, everything we wanted to connect it through a NITK's network. Here it is. So this will be the future, and we already issued the work order to the BSNL for the deployment. And I hope maybe by another 1 or 2 months, so this installation will be successfully done in NITK Surathkal. So coming back to the second part of this presentation, internet, very important one. Fine. So as you can see, so the total bandwidth of NITK is 11 Gbps. And at the port level, every user can get a bandwidth of around 100 Mbps to 1 Gbps. And our main service provider, one is the BSNL, Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited, from where we get a 10 Gbps or 10 GB. And one is the NKN. NKN stands for your National Knowledge Network. National Knowledge Network, from where we get 1 GB. Here it is. NITK uses both IPv4 as well as IPv6. So here IPv4, Internet Protocol version 4, and IPv6 is the future, which is the Internet Protocol version 6. We work on both IPv4 as well as IPv6 on a dual stack. NITK registered NITK's domain, like nitk.ac.in. This is our domain name of our main website. And at the same time, nitk.edu.in, this is our email domain. So both are registered with the ARNet, which stands for Education and Research Network of India. It is an autonomous body under Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India. So NITK manages its own DNS, domain name service, so which is actually required to access the websites and all. So this is the web page of our NITK's website. So if you open nitk.ac.in, you will get this page. This is the NITK's official website. So as a bona fide student of this NITK or any individual in NITK, so we'll get one thing, that is internet access, and that is currently we do it through the captive portal, and the future will be the EduROM. And in most of the places we already migrated to EduROM, and more detail will be given by our PIC Central Computer Center, that is in the next session. So EduROM, which stands for Educational Roaming, which means sign in one and access it everywhere, not just in NITK. If any institute is a part of EduROM, fine. So then even in that institute, with the use of NITK's credential, your login and the password, you can access the internet here. So this is a feature of our NITK. And the other option, time being, we are working with the captive portal for the login. And this is our captive portal website, where you have to enter your login ID and a password to access the NITK's internet. Here it is. At the same time, even you will get a NITK's mail ID, that is at nitk.edu.in as a student of a NITK. And on a special request basis, if it is required, even we can provide a VPN, virtual private network facility for a student, faculty to work even outside a NITK by accessing the resource of a NITK. Here it is. So this is actually the iris. So maybe in the next session, PIC will explain about what exactly this iris is. So this iris also requires some login ID and a password, where you get course-related information, where you get your performance-related information. All those information, you can access it through this iris. This is our iris website, and this is our captive portal to connect to the internet. Here it is. Fine. So in the campus, so anywhere, anytime, automatic connection with a wired as well as a Wi-Fi is possible here. So here, anywhere a star mark, that means you are connected to NITK network, whether you are in the hostel, whether you are in the academic block, whether you are in the hostel block, fine. So even in the ground side also, you are connected with the wired and the Wi-Fi network. Here it is. So in your mobile, so when you turn on your Wi-Fi, so you will see two things. One is a EduROM and a NITK net. So this is the current situation, and the future will be this EduROM. So in the case of NITK, to connect to NITK Wi-Fi, you need a password, which is a 2K16 NITK, and you will be connected to NITK Wi-Fi. But in the EduROM, this may be not required. Only once you have to log in. After that, everything will be taken care by the EduROM here. Fine, so EduROM is educational roaming. So worldwide roaming access facility, which is under your AirNet. Here it is. Fine, the usage facility, as on date, we used to get data of around 10 GB for upload and download. Now this become absolute. So the future will be unlimited. I think that complete picture will be given by the PIC Central Computer Center. Fine, so as on date, if any additional bandwidth was required, so you have to pass your request through some faculty to the Central Computer Center. Like here, CCC, Central Computer Center, used to be responsible to manage the infrastructure part of a network. Here it is. Okay, the very simple policy. So here you have to respect the policies such as IT policy, website policy, network policy, mail policy of institute. You should not violate it. Fine, so you must respect IT Act, Copyright Act, IPC, CPC of Government of India. Very important. Software piracy is a crime. Software piracy is a crime. So use of a pirated software in the campus is prohibited. If it is found out, then that particular student or that particular individual will be held responsible. Here it is. So NIT can never permit unauthorized use of any paid software in its premises. So this is a IT policy of NITK, which you can access it time being through the captive portal. Fine. In a summary, what we are expecting. So here, follow the institute policies and the guidelines. Respect copyright and avoid software piracy. Beware of the IT Act, IPC and the CPC. Be nice, be respectful to the fellow users. Here it is. And my contact details are this. So my mail ID is pic_comsnet@nitk.edu.in, brc@nitk.edu.in, and my official number is 0824 STD code 2473408 or 3443. Yeah, thank you. So any question from the audience's side? So internet is like nowadays is a part of our life here it is. Without internet, we feel like we are nowhere there. So any question related to internet? I hope all of you might have got your login ID and a password to access the internet. Once any student gets an admission into the NITK system, so automatically he gets a mail with his credential, and with that credential, you can start using the NITK net. And I hope even you will get the credential for your IRIS portal through which you can access your academic related details. Here it is. So any question? Fine. If there are no questions, yeah, fine. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I request the next speaker, Professor Mohit Tailani, to hand over a small token to Professor B.R. Chandavarkar. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you. आपको चाहिए कुछ कम नहीं चाहिए but my slide will be
So next we have our next speaker, Mohit Tailani from Computer Science Engineering, who will be giving you a brief overview of computing facilities, central and departmental.
I don't need it. I'll use this. Okay.
All right, so good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right, so I'll be talking about the computing and communication facilities. There will be a slight overlap with what Chandavarkar sir mentioned, but we had synced up before and we decided that he will mention it. I'll go in the detail because most of this communication work actually happens at Central Computer Center. So I'm Mohit. I'm working as an associate professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, colleague of Dr. Chandavarkar, and currently I'm taking care of the Central Computer Center as well. So we have a dedicated building which is right opposite of this auditorium. And I think yesterday and day before we had a few students coming in. I think I attended about 100, 120 students yesterday in this building, which is called the Central Computer Center. We have 4 floors. Our data center is a dedicated data center at NITK. Yesterday, about 100 plus students visited the data center, and I walked them through what are the computing facilities we have. I'm pretty sure every day in the afternoon, some or the other students are going to visit us, and our team is excited to show you how difficult it is to manage the data center. That's what we want to show you, because it's quite a bit of a challenge to manage the data center, which has to cater to about 25,000 devices on an everyday basis. Because we have 7,000 students, each student has about 2 devices, a phone as well as a laptop, 14,000 devices straight because of the number of students. And then we have faculty members, we have fixed labs. For example, if you come to computer science department, we have about 300, 400 computers, electronics communication, IT, mathematics department. So many departments have dedicated computer labs, MCA labs. Consider all the devices being connected. We have about 25,000 devices that connect to the network, and data center is managed by us, mainly using open source technologies. We try and avoid as much as possible getting into commercial tools. We also use a lot of assistance from the students, which I'll talk in the last slide. We have about 25 high-end servers, which are actually enterprise servers. When you visit the data center today or in the next days of your orientation program, we will show you also where our institute website is hosted. Suppose, for example, you know which hostel you have been allotted. How is your hostel connected to our data center? We have a dedicated switch. We'll demonstrate that. So all of it will be visible to you. We also provide compute resources on demand. So if, for example, you are involved in any project and you need containers or you need virtual machines for that work, we just need you to route your request through your faculty member, and we'll just provide that particular resource for the time duration that you have requested. So those facilities are available. Besides, if you would like to come and sit at CCC and want to use computers, we have about 200 plus computers which we have provided, but we also have recently introduced the bring your own device facility. That means you can come with your own devices, because sometimes you download a lot of data and then it's very difficult for you to download it in a CCC computer and then shift it with a pen drive or something to your laptop. So instead, you can actually come with your laptop, sit, we'll give you dedicated LAN cables as well as Wi-Fi connectivity, and then you can actually download the data or do whatever activities you want to do for your courses. Like B.R. Chandavarkar sir mentioned, we have VPN access. You might be on vacation, you might be on an internship, you might still want to use the VM which we have given here, and that's not possible because all our VMs and containers have a private IP address. They are not publicly accessible. So if you still want to continue to use these compute resources while you are at your home or while you are in an internship outside NITK, you need a VPN access. So we provide VPN access to all the students only on demand and only on specific IP addresses that you are requesting for. We don't give you a campus-wide access to all the resources. We also have the timings. So currently we are operating from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. During examination, we extend the time and we go up to 12 midnight. And then the idea, long term, in another, not so much long term, but maybe in another 4-5 months, we want to reach to this goal of keeping this building open throughout the year, 24/7. And of course, you can utilize any of these facilities at CCC for your club activities. If you want to have technical meetups, you can actually come and be a part of CCC. And we also have one meetup coming up on this Saturday itself, which is on free and open source software, which is hosted by FOSS Mangalore. Most of this was already covered by Chandavarkar sir, but I would just like to cover the points which were not covered. LAN ports are provided in all the hostels. If one room has more than one student, that many number of LAN ports have been provided. We have fixed dedicated lines from BSNL. He already mentioned 10 Gbps plus 1. That is why I have written 4 and separate 1. Unfortunately, that's not good, because if BSNL goes down, our entire network goes down, because all our lines are BSNL lines. So that's why recently we have taken an initiative. We have brought in a new ISP, and in less than 2 months, we will have a new ISP inside the campus, so that if BSNL has any connectivity issues, we can use another ISP, and if they have any issues, we can use BSNL. Don't ask me what happens if both go down. If both go down, we lose connectivity. That's it. Nothing can be done. And now you can't go for the third one, because the question comes, what if the third one also goes down? So you can ensure resilience, but it cannot be ensured the way we think theoretically, okay? Wi-Fi will be provided to you all in the common rooms in the hostels. For example, if you have a TV room, a mess room, prayer room, or open lawn outside your hostel where you want to sit in the evening and have some discussions with your friends, you will have Wi-Fi connectivity in all those places. But LAN ports are provided in the room, and you are free to put your own tiny access point for your own Wi-Fi access if you want to. We don't prohibit using access points inside rooms. So you can convert that LAN port into a Wi-Fi by using an external device, or you actually don't need to buy a device. You can just put your laptop and convert it into a virtual router, and even that's okay for you to use Wi-Fi on your phone coming from your laptop that's connected to the LAN port. So that's also fine. By the way, Wi-Fi is available in all the academic departments. We also have it in all lecture hall complexes and all. And B.R. Chandavarkar sir already mentioned to you, we have been introducing seamless Wi-Fi. Most of the existing students have now migrated to it, which is called EduRoam. I'll talk about it in the next slide. I have a dedicated slide and some warnings also as to what you should be careful about when you use EduRoam. But seamless means when you move from one place to another place, provided you have seamless connectivity between both the places. If you're on a WhatsApp call or any of your Google Meet call or Zoom call, it should ideally continue to work and there should be not any glitch in between when you move from this room to outside this room, because you leave this access point and you enter into another access point. There should not be any problem. That's what we mean by the word seamless. There's another network which is also available currently, which is called NITK Net. We have been using it since 2016. You don't need to use it, but when you have some relatives, parents, friends coming into the campus as guests, ensure you don't give your EduRoam credentials to them. In fact, you should ask them to use NITK Net, which is protected with a captive portal. We can give you a temporary username and password for the number of days that your relatives or known people are going to be in campus, but ensure that they use NITK Net and not the EduRoam. I'll tell you what are the risks if you allow your credentials to be given to others, and I'll show you what damages can be done in the next slide. BRC sir already mentioned that there's an institute IT policy. It's available, you can read it. We also have a 24/7 technical support at CCC. If you have LAN port issues, you have any other problems, or your router that you brought from the market is not working, we can help you configure, or any network connectivity issues, there is a phone number, you can call that, you can also write an email, and our team will be happy to assist you. So, moving about EduRoam, EduRoam is an initiative by certain people in Europe, and we have more than 1,000 places where EduRoam works. About 10,000 plus universities have EduRoam. Almost all IITs, NIT, IISc Bangalore, all of them have EduRoam. So which essentially means if we give you an EduRoam email access here, that means we give you an credentials here, you can use those credentials wherever you go and provided you have EduRoam there. A lot of airports, including Mumbai Airport, Bangalore Airport, Delhi Airport, all of them, they have EduRoam. Many railway stations have EduRoam, many public places have EduRoam. Once you are in a region where EduRoam is there, you just need to switch on your Wi-Fi. You don't need to enter any username password because you already entered it here. And we authenticate you and we understand where you are. We can also find out what's happening, what you browse. We get the logs, but not at the detail of the application level. But we know that, okay, this is the IP address allocated to you wherever you are right now. Now, all of this is already mentioned, but this is very important. And by the way, if you are interested in understanding what is EduRoam, go to that website which we have given and you can explore more. But there is something in red color over there. Can you see that? Yes or no? Read out with me. What does it say? Do not share your EduRoam credentials with. Imagine you do that and that person carries their phone and travels across the world. They leave footmarks on your name. Because the username of EduRoam is your NITK email address. So whatever NITK email address you will get, that itself will be your EduRoam username. If you give your credentials to them and they go outside NITK and do something fishy or something illegal, according to the laws, IT laws, you are held responsible for that activity that they do because your footprint is found there, your email address is found there. So it's a very serious matter and you should be very careful that you don't give your credentials. Anytime you need help in giving access to your guests, reach out to CCC and we will give you username and password temporary for NITK Net. Let them use it for the number of days that they are here, but keep your credentials safe, okay? That's what I have written in the last slide. Now, we are also launching a new intranet site. The current intranet site is active and a lot of information is there, but we wanted to be a little more systematic and we wanted to tell you, okay, how many places you have options to eat some good food in the campus, or where is the cycle repair shop? Or for example, what is the timing of the healthcare facility that we have? Or which doctors come at what time? Or where is a washing machine available for me to ensure that I, reach there? What are the timings? So all that information will be available here in this intranet website. We tentatively plan to launch it by the end of October. And I'll also tell you something very interesting on the last slide about intranet also. So moving forward, as I said, we have 4 floors. Currently, we are actively utilizing 2 floors. The other 2 floors right now are not so much utilized, maybe 20–30%. So we have a plan to upgrade the CCC 2nd and 3rd floor, and this is a 2D and 3D plan respectively, where we plan to have dedicated discussion rooms for students, like our library also has beautiful discussion rooms with dedicated LCD monitors. We can have open sitting area. There will be a tiny little museum because many people have not seen a floppy disk. How many of you have seen a floppy disk? How many of you have seen a floppy disk? Precisely. But if you ask anybody sitting in the front row, everybody will say, we have seen a floppy disk. You need to know how computers have evolved. And recently when I was cleaning the junk from CCC, before the people came to pick up the junk, I said, wait, first I took one item of all the junk and preserved it. I said, no, this is important. I need to tell my students, this is a floppy disk, this is how it used to look like. So we have a small museum coming up where we'll be putting all these old devices. And I've been also reaching out to all my senior colleagues who are retiring from NITK. I have been requesting them that when you clean your house, you'll find something interesting. Don't throw it out, give it to us. We will preserve it and we'll also give credits saying that, this was donated by our own faculty member, and that remains as a memory for all of us. We have another plan in the 3rd floor where we want to give dedicated booth. So there are about 8 booths in plan where we want students to sit and take phone calls or take Google Meet call or take a company interview, or you're attending something, you want to ensure that not other people are disturbed in that region. So we have dedicated booths where you can sit. These plans are tentative. These are not final plan. The administration is still reviewing it. So don't think this is going to be implemented anytime soon. It's still under process, but we hope that another 6 months or 8 months down the line, this work should start and we should have something real. We have a small cafeteria also planned here for hackathons, industry events, startup events, technical meetups and stuff like that. This is the last slide for me, and I want to ensure that you all take it very positively, because a lot of contributions from the past students of NITK is why many things keep running at NITK smoothly. You all have taken admission here. You have already been using IRIS. You saw that you were onboarded on IRIS. My colleague Basavaraj Talwar will be talking more about it. But that's a totally student-led initiative. It's a student-managed system. Similar to that, at CCC also we encourage a lot of students to come and help us manage the network. One thing that I recently did is when our students came back, there were a lot of LAN port issues. I went to my classroom and I said, 2 marks assignment for all the people who fix at least 20 LAN port issues in the hostel. I literally did that. You can check with my students. 2 marks in my course was just to help 20 fellow students in fixing the LAN port issues. Right? And that itself is a learning. You need to learn by doing things. You can't be understanding how things work only theoretically. So what we have done is, we invite students to come and help us in configuring network switches, so that you know how to configure a network switch, or for example, how to configure a Wi-Fi access point. And recently one of my MTech student came and he was excited about it. He made a team of people, and in a day they configured 120 switches by themselves. And this is what we want students. We want students to be engaged in institute level activities where they learn as an engineer how we keep this institute up and running. Okay? We also have a beautiful case study of a project that we are about to complete in this December, which is about migrating the entire Surathkal campus 25,000 devices to IPv6. This project was funded by APNIC Foundation. It's called Asia Pacific Network Information Center. The funding amount was near to 2 crores, and the funding was received by NITK to migrate all our devices to IPv6. I'm so happy to report to you that every inch of this project was executed only by students. Entire campus has been now over a period of about 1.5 years. Only students have worked. Of course, we have our own alumni students, Mr. Akshay Revankar and Mr. Sushant, who have been very active alumni and have led this particular effort from front. But on ground here, a lot of things have been done by our own students. And not just that, once they executed the students, using this fund that we got, we sent our students to attend APNIC conference, which is an annual conference of APNIC at Kyoto in Japan. They went and they presented this work, how they migrated NITK campus to IPv6 at Europe in Prague. And then recently we sent 4 students to Brisbane. And another 3 students are in line to go to Dublin in the month of November, just to talk about this project. CCC was immensely benefited by the contribution of students in this. And I take this opportunity that as you become more mature in the campus, you become more familiar with this campus and its working, I invite you all to come to CCC and tell us how you can help us. And then in fact, we will see how we can train you so that you can help us in future in many different ways. Intranet website is being totally developed by students. There are 5 students right now working with me. One of them is a mentor. The other 4 are actively engaged, and they are the one who are coming up with the entire intranet website. Of course, there is faculty mentorship, but then actually it is done by students. We also want to tell you that if you find any security loopholes, recently one of the 5th semester metallurgy student, when he was in 3rd sem, He came up to me and he said, your all passwords are weak. I have cracked your all switch passwords and core switch passwords. Thanks for reporting. We are also human beings. We also need to improve. But if you come and tell me, then I will ensure that I find out where are the weak passwords and we'll try to see to it that we put a strong password. So we want more contribution in reporting issues and telling us that, okay, I was able to find a flaw. Because you guys are 20 times smarter than the current generations like where we come from, because you are born with technology. So you can actually do more things than what we can do. And then if you come and report to us, it just ensures that our system becomes more robust and secure. And of course, I am slowly forming a student task force. You can be in first year and be a part of this task force. This is a task force at CCC where we are helping fellow students to ensure that connectivity issues are not faced. Thank you so much for your patient listening. I'm open to discussions. I'll be available outside if you want something. Feel free to contact me. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir, for a very informative talk. So I request the next speaker, Professor Baswaraj Talwar, to hand over a small memento to Professor Mohit. So I welcome the next speaker, Professor Baswaraj Talwar, who is Professor in charge of MIS, Management Information System, IRIS, which is a very important aspect for all of you students.
I can see that. Okay. I can't work with this now. Oh, okay.
I'm not supposed to be technologically challenged in that manner because we had the MIS office. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Basavaraj Talwar, and I'm involved in the Management Information Systems office that manages the digital footprint or the digital equivalent of NITK. So you've taken admission as a human. When you've taken admission as a human, a equivalent virtual self of the student, of you, is created in IRIS, and you've already sort of used. We as an office, right, we manage all of your data during your next 4 years and a few things beyond also. So if a course is registered in IRIS, then it is true. If it's not registered in IRIS, irrespective of whether you're taking classes or writing tests or writing exams, it sort of doesn't count as long as your virtual self is also recording the course, or there's a record that you're taking a course on IRIS, right? So basically, IRIS sort of manages all activities, academic and non-academic co-curricular activities for you for the next during the 4 years of your stay. And the MIS office sort of manages all of the data. So if there is any inconsistency in the data, you will reach out to the MIS office for getting things right. So let me begin. What we do I think it sort of runs off if I'm not doing this right. Okay. So, if something is not consistent, then you will have to meet our office personnel. So there are 2 MIS officers currently, and you have probably already met them during your admission process, Gangadhar and Arun. You may not have identified them as such, but there are MIS officers that take care of all of your data being correct. If your courses are not registered, then you sort of have to report to the MIS officer. Always use the email ID that is on the top of the screen, right? And there are other personal support staff to help them around also for this reason. There is a professor in charge or a faculty in charge for the MIS office, and that is me currently. And the MIS office itself is headed by the Dean RNC, and you might have heard from the Dean RNC yesterday. That is where we are located. It's the main building on the back side of the first floor of the main building where that black box is. I hope sort of it's fairly clear there. So on the back side. So at any point, if you needed something, hopefully you will not have to walk to the office. If you send us an email, that should be enough. But if you still need something critical and immediately done, then you can always come to the MIS office to clear out your digital self. If you have not yet created your nitk.edu.in email ID, please do. It will be available on your IRIS login, right? One of the options. You should, if you see 3 vertical bars, 3 horizontal bars, click on it and then create your nitk.edu.in email ID. If there are any questions, right? So you reach out to us again. So what do we do really? So a bunch of things that are required to keep the semester running and to keep your courses on, right? So we start the semester in the sense that we float all of the courses and we registered all of you. So if your IRIS currently shows courses, then it is because the MIS office has already done it for you. If you have been registered to the correct department, you've been admitted into the correct department, given a roll number and so on, all of that has been managed by the MIS department, the MIS office first, and that's why all your admission process is smooth and your registration for courses is smooth and so on, right? So a bunch of things we do, a fairly long list is there. Early on, in your first year, I think what is important for you is to be registered for all of the courses in your first semester and also to be able to submit assignments, look at the video lectures, look at the video course materials and so on. All of that is managed by infrastructure, the software infrastructure that we call IRIS, and the data on top of that is again managed by the MIS office. It's managed by the faculty for courses and so on. Right, so more information about the IRIS infrastructure, we have the IRIS developer team to talk to you about it. But the MIS office is basically responsible for keeping your information consistent and up and running. There are a bunch of things. I think some of these may not right now make sense to you. You don't have to take any action because most of the things are done for you in your first semester. But as you grow into the system, as you start using these this IRIS module more and more, right? You will see that you will need to re-register for courses sometimes. You will need to drop courses, add courses for audit courses, and so on. Which of course is not in the first year, but successively you will need. Some of the course registrations might get delayed, and some of them might not appear. Some of the courses may not appear. In any of such cases, right? You will need to reach out to the MIS officer, and we will clear it for you. So apart from that, of course, you've already used the infrastructure, right? You've used the infrastructure during your admission to starting once you got, once you selected the NITK seat, all of the, from whichever system you came from, CSAB or, mains and so on, right? So all of that data is, digitally sort of imported into the IRIS infrastructure, and from your account is created, and you have a digital identity, and from there you are able to we will give you a login password, and then you are able to upload your certificates and then complete the admission process. All of this is automated, and all of this is built by the IRIS team, and the fee payment, the hostel allocation, all of that, right? So everything is currently digital. And you should sort of imagine 5-6 years ago, this was manual, and pretty much everything had to be what you did in the last when you came to the admission, right? What you did on your phone and on your PC was to be done manually. So overall, the experience has vastly improved, and it's completely digital right now because of this IRIS infrastructure. Yeah, so there are a bunch of other activities that pretty much all academic activities have now been taken over by IRIS and is supported through IRIS. So overall, the grand vision is to be able to extend beyond academics and to be able to do administrative work and various other things that are handled in the NITK larger system. To bring everything, all processes into the domain of IRIS into a digital form, right? So that's the grand vision that the MIS office is working towards. And so what I will do now is, introduce you to the IRIS developer team, and they will talk to you about all these initiatives that they have for you guys, for the first year students. To get involved and to learn more and to participate more, right? So to participate in the growth of NITK is a grand opportunity, and also working with IRIS, kind of a system, right? Kind of a large software system adds to your resume significantly, and it has been a great help for a lot of students who've gone through IRIS. And also, it's fairly exciting to learn all these new technologies and the kind of technology that is used to build and to keep NITK running, right? And if you are contributing to it, it's a fairly star point in your resume, I feel. So give me a minute, right? Just one slide, and then I sort of. So you've done all of this, right? So anyways, I also mentioned that you came through this admission process. So it's I think time to introduce Fahim and Vedant. So both of them are leads in IRIS. They are the guys who manage and run IRIS. And yeah, so they will talk about where you can get involved, and the various other initiatives that IRIS is running right now. Over to Fahim and Vedant.
Hello everyone. I'm Fahim Ahmed. I'm a fourth year BTech IT student, and I'm the admin lead of IRIS. As Basavaraj sir has discussed about what are the features and functionalities of IRIS, I would like to brief you about a few more other functionalities. So right from the process where you get admitted to NITK, the admission form filling, the payment for the first semester, all is facilitated through IRIS. Beyond that, the course registration across all the semesters is also done through IRIS. Generation of the student ID card in a digital copy is also through IRIS. We also manage the NITK EDU ID generation, courses, grading, attendance, course feedback, everything is facilitated through IRIS. You can even check your attendance through IRIS mobile app. We'll discuss about that. Beyond that, there are also other campus facilities which you can access. So which clubs are conducting events on which date, know about the clubs. So this is through SEMS, which is calendar and event management system for the NITK students. The hostel room and mess allocation is also done through IRIS. And beyond that, also your placements and internship season, applying to companies, seeing the recruitment schedule is also facilitated through IRIS. There are various other features and functionalities, you can read about them. There's a very good freshers guide. You can scan this QR code, and this will take you to a blog which we have prepared specifically for first year students. It gives you a brief introduction to all these features and functionalities and how you can leverage them. There's also other functionalities like Tell IRIS, where you can let us know what complaints you have or what feature suggestions you have beyond what is provided to you. So I'll give a few minutes for you all to scan it. we'll have another QR code towards the end also in case you want to scan it. This is for the Iris mobile app. We also have a Android and iOS mobile app, and the average rating of our app is 4.7, and we have currently 10K plus downloads. We are expecting a new batch of students, if you all download, we can reach the download count to a much significant count. You can scan the QR code and download it from here. Okay, now coming to the important part of what the Iris team is. As you know, the features and functionalities of Iris, but what is it? It's a student-led initiative. So currently we are a team of 50 plus students and divided across sub-teams dealing with various interests and specialities. So some of them are product, web team, app team, systems team, and the labs team. So starting with the product team. So product team is a bunch of product management enthusiasts who deal with feature ideation, feasibility analysis, requirements collection, testing of the features during the development process, prototyping before the actual development begins. And beyond that, they also deal with the branding, publicity of Iris, and then the policy making decisions. Regarding the other team.
Hello, good afternoon everyone, and welcome to NITK from Team Iris. So running Iris is a big thing. It's almost 10K students that we cater to, and to run such an infrastructure, we are divided into these 5 teams. So if you see closely, these 5 teams comprise of the entire product development lifecycle, right from ideation, that is the product team, development, which is the web and app team. The systems team deals with deployment of our code and maintaining our servers, and the labs team, which deals with experimentation. I'll talk about these in brief. So the web team deals with maintaining and developing the Iris web application. So we write code which caters to which is based on industry standard, writing tests for it, and ensuring that it is reviewed properly by senior developers and stuff. The app team is what builds and maintains the Iris mobile application, which is available on Android and iOS. App team works in close with the web team, and we ensure that the APIs developed by the web team are of the proper format and that the app runs smoothly. The systems team is what essentially runs Iris. So all the code and server, all the code that we have is hosted in CCC. All the code and the repository that we have are hosted in CCC. So as Mohit sir previously also mentioned, what happens if BSNL goes down? We lose connectivity. Similarly, what happens if one of our servers go down? We do have backup servers for this, and the system team is what ensures that these servers and all the sister services of Iris keep on running. This is very crucial to our operation, and hence system team is one of the most fundamental teams at Iris. Coming to labs team, it is divided into 2 sub-teams, the software team and the hardware team. The software team deals with experimentation with ML, large language models, and other stuff in that field. And the hardware team deals with semiconductors, chip fabrication, and they also participate in various competitions which were previously led by AMD and Google. So that being said, how can you as a fresher be part of Iris and understand what we do? So for that, we conduct 4 series of events throughout the year. The first one being Ruby on Rails Bootcamp. Ruby on Rails is the framework on which Iris is built, the web application, I mean. So throughout the bootcamp, which is about a 6-week duration, we give you tasks, we give you tutorials to follow, at the end of which you are given tasks based on which we shortlist you for interviews, and you get a chance to be part of Team Iris. Flutter Bootcamps works in the similar way. It's for the Iris mobile application, which is built on Flutter. It's an open source framework. Code in with Iris. This is similar to how the bootcamps are. However, there's a slight change. Here, we do not expect you to follow a strict pattern of tasks and tutorials. This is a takeaway task that you are free to implement in any of the tech stack you feel like. At the end of which, we evaluate and shortlist you for a 6-week or 2-month intern at Iris, during which you will be working on the real problems that we face and Hopefully you do get in the team once your performance is satisfactory. Labs workshop. This was something we started recently in the last year. So we had one workshop which was on ML. It was a very hands-on workshop and a great experience, a great opportunity for you students to learn what we do practically. And also, this also serves as a way to enter into the lab software team.
So you can see a QR code just below the text, how do I become a change maker? If you scan this, it will redirect you to the link tree, which contains all the important social media handles of Iris. Also the previous QR codes which led you to the blog and then our Iris mobile app links. So you can scan this now and also follow us on our social media platforms if you would like to give us any suggestions or feedback regarding the Iris modules, etc. So as we have discussed, we have various sub-teams and the workshops, boot camps we conduct throughout the year. I would highly recommend you all to participate in these activities during your first year itself. To follow when those timelines would be, you can follow us on our social media where we would be informing when the certain boot camp would be held or when the recruitment calendar would fall in place. So this would serve as a good opportunity for you in the first year to get a good learning experience and most importantly, be part of something impactful at NITK. Thank you.
Thank you all. I request the next speaker, Professor Shashikant Kauder, to hand over a small memento to Professor Basavaraj. Last but not the least, we have a very interesting talk by Professor Shashikant Kauder on the campus fauna, birds, animals, and snakes.
Extender. Windows. Thank you. So good afternoon, everybody. And a warm welcome to NITK to all of you. I'm Professor Shashikant, and I teach communication mostly and also literature. And I'm the professor in charge of this club called Staff Recreation Club. So coming from Staff Recreation Club, you might wonder what I have for students. But we conduct different kinds of activities, and one of the activities that we conducted was bird watching in the campus a few months ago. And therefore, they thought that I can speak on birds, fauna, and campus fauna, basically, birds, snakes, and animals. Though I don't claim to be an expert on this particular area, but probably I know a little better than many others on campus, and therefore they have chosen me for this task. Yeah. So the title of the talk is Campus Fauna, Birds, Animals, and Snakes. But I have put animals and snakes within bracket because I'll not be speaking so much on that. I'll try to focus more on birds. Do we have bird watchers in this community? Can you raise hands if you are interested in bird watching? Or if you have done a little bit of bird watching? Okay, that's great. Anyone else? Let me wear my specs. Okay, there are 2 hands there. And then, okay, yeah, couple of them, 3 of them, 4 of them there. Yeah, a couple of them there. Yes, good. So we have at least a handful of people, and I suppose we have more interested people getting into the field, hopefully in the next 3-4 years. So, being in sync with our environment, as we are not the only people who own this earth, right? There are millions of creatures who are also the rightful owners of this earth. We somehow are having this misconception that we are the owners of this earth, right? I mean, when we think of this earth, we think that we are the owners. Human beings are rightfully the owners of this earth, but that's not correct if you think about it, right? There are millions of other creatures who are also the rightful owners of this earth. And we know that species are getting extinct and so on. So before we think of protecting the species, we should know about the species, right? We should know about the things around us, the flora, fauna, etc. Flora, I think Madam has already spoken about the flora of the campus. So the place to begin is our own home. And right now our home is our campus, right? And United Nations has come up with several sustainable development goals. And it says the 15th goal is life on earth or life on land. Okay. So this is a very minor space for us to understand, minor chunk of time for us to just get a few glimpses of campus fauna. So let me go ahead. Let me begin with this particular activity which we called campus bird count. Okay, a campus bird count is not just happening at NITK. Okay, it was for the first time that we did campus bird count in this February. Okay, but before that, a few years ago, campus bird count started in India, and right now, you can see the statistics a little later. Yeah. So campus bird count in 2024, it happened with 5,334 birders, okay, in different campuses. Sorry, in different campuses throughout India. Okay, this is a very specific event happening throughout India, only in India, mostly in the 3rd week of February. Okay, it happens in rest of the world and under the banner of Great Backyard Bird Count, GBBC they call it. Okay, so during GBBC we do campus bird count in India. So almost all IITs and many NITs and many private campuses, even corporate campuses, okay, some companies also do that. So basically it is on campus. You go around and see how many birds can be observed in that particular campus, at least in the span of about 15 minutes. Okay, you need to do it for at least 15 minutes to be counted, for it to be counted as campus bird count. There are other parameters, etc. So this was the first time that we did it in NITK. So that was the flyer. And we did it on 18th of February. About 80 plus participants, mostly students, staff, and a few people from outside campus also came here. So that was a kind of, showcasing NITK campus for the outsiders also. About 20 of them were outsiders. So campus bird count is kept open for outsiders also. Okay. So we saw or we recorded 101 bird species. Sorry. Yeah, so 101 bird species were recorded, and all birders would go to ebird.org to record what they have observed during their birding session. Okay, so this is the ebird.org website, and you can develop your own profile over here. Okay, for example, this is my profile, and you can see on the left-hand side that I have observed 175 bird species. This can be anywhere, okay, not necessarily only at NITK. NITK is just one place for me. And there have been 71 checklists. What do you mean by checklist? A checklist is a list of birds observed in one particular session. Okay, so if I click my checklist, all these are my checklists. On the left-hand side, it has the first column has the date, the number, date, time in which it was observed, and so on. Okay, so 2024 is the last, and I go back to 2015, I suppose. Yeah, 2015. This is the last, this is the first birding session that I recorded from my side as an individual birder. Okay, so whatever you have observed will be stored, and when you click on this particular space, you will get all the birds that you have observed. You can record it like this. Okay, each of the birding session can be systematically recorded, and each of these birds can be commented upon. It can be clicked, it can be photographed, and you can upload the picture here. You can also audio record the voice of the bird and upload it along with the birds and so on. Okay. So this is maintained by Cornell University. They have Cornell Lab. Cornell Lab is maintaining all the data that you can see in ebird.org, and it is used for a variety of purposes. Basically, they process this data for different research purposes. Okay. So, yeah, going back, these were a couple of, few photographs of birders on that particular day, 18th February 2024, March. Okay, now let's do a little bit of virtual birding. What I'll do is I would take you through virtual birding, a few places on campus where you can see certain typical birds. Okay, and these spots which I have mentioned it in a particular way here will be available on Google Map also. If you Google Map and find out these spots, they are available. I have similarly worded the Google Map spottings, the pin drop. I have similarly worded, so you can use these particular spots for you to, navigate when you are actually going there. You can use Google Map and go to these places. You can also use the PPT that I am using right now. You can use it later to navigate through these places. Okay. Okay, so this is a 360-degree photograph of the main building area. Okay, and the birds that I have put over here, I mean, these camera icons represent a particular bird. Okay, there are a few birds. It is not that you can see these few birds always there. Similarly, there may be other birds also, which you can see actually when you go to main building or the front part of the main building. There may be several birds, but these are representative birds. Okay. So I have collected a few bird photographs which are representative of that particular area in different places of the campus. Now you might feel or you might think that birds don't stay in a particular place, they are always mobile. Yes, they are mobile. But more or less, they do have a particular place where they perch or where they stay. Okay, they have a particular radius within which they function, but usually they also have a particular place where they perch, okay, continuously perch over a period of time. So, yeah, let's begin from here. You can see Oriental magpie robin. Have you seen this bird? This black and white bird, Oriental magpie robin it is called. Yeah, it's very common in front of the main building. This is called pale-billed flower pecker, a very tiny bird. Okay, it feeds on small fruits and nuts, and things of that, mostly fruits, of course. Cattle egret. Almost all of you would have seen this. We call it kokkare in Kannada. Bellakki. Asian koel. Very common bird throughout India. Yeah. Have you been to this place? Beach Gate, the entry to the NITK beach. All these photographs are aerial photographs. You know, it's taken from drone-mounted cameras. Okay, so you can see certain typical birds here. For example, you have white-bellied sea eagle. Okay, very rare bird. But this particular species is something that we could see from 2015. I have been seeing this bird. So I think generations of this bird is continuously perching over there. Okay, this is on the third or fourth casuarina tree on the left-hand side when you enter the beach. Okay, there are so many casuarina trees over there. If you have been there, so white-bellied sea eagle is a very gigantic bird, huge bird, in fact. Okay, you should. I mean, all of you are going to Pilikula, I heard. If you go to Pilikula, and particularly the zoological park, there is a white-bellied sea eagle. You can see how big it is, how large it is. Very magnificent kind of bird. Okay, and we can see about 2 to 3 birds on this casuarina tree. And black kite, which is a common bird throughout India, is something that you can see on the beach. Brahmini kite is also, you know, some people mistake white-bellied sea eagle for Brahmini kite, but Brahmini kites are smaller. Okay, and also its wings are a bit rufous or brownish. Okay. So kites and eagles are quite common. Yeah, this is behind Computer Science Engineering Department building. Even this is a very good patch for birding. You know, you can bird at least for half an hour over here. There are small as well as big birds. Red-whiskered bulbul. All of you have heard about bulbuls, right? But you may not have correlated the name with the actual bird. So this is what is red-whiskered bulbul. You have a small red patch over there. Yeah. You can see them throughout the campus, but typically even here. Black kite, you can see even here. Oriental magpie robin, this we have already seen. Brahmini kite is also something that we have seen. So there are similar species. In different places of the campus. Hockey ground is one more place where you can bird for at least, maybe half an hour. This is, this patch is your academic buildings mostly, okay? And this patch is your hostels. So in between hostels and your academic buildings, you have the sports facility. So if you come near the hockey ground, all these patches, the green patches are the place where you can see birds. Okay. I will talk a little more about birding as an activity. 5 minutes, okay. Maybe a little later. So these are some of the typical birds here. Ashy wood swallow. Indian golden oriole. White wagtail. Spotted dove. This is one of the beautiful birds, small, but very good to see, very good to look at, very cute. Rufous tree pie, brownish colored birds belonging to crows. I mean, it's a distant relative of crow. Blue-tailed bee-eaters. You would have seen this on electric wires, right? Yeah. So, yeah, and there are more pictures actually, but because of lack of time, I think I'll proceed. Let me go back to a few do's and don'ts of birding. When we get into birding, what we should or what we should not do. The first thing that you should do if you are interested in birding is to download an app called Merlin. Okay, M-E-R-L-I-N, Merlin. One of the beautiful features of this app is it allows you to simply keep it on, and when you keep it on, it will see how many bird voices could be found. With the audio, it will tell you what are the different birds chirping or making noise at that particular time. Okay, it's a very nice feature. So Merlin is something that you should not forget if you are interested in birding. Okay. The second is, before I got into birding, somebody said that we have a beautiful patch of greenery some 5 kilometers away, and you can go birding over there. I went birding around 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, and I didn't find any bird there. So I was cursing this person. But if you are interested in birding, there are only 2 stretches of time when you should go birding. That is in the morning and in the evening. This is when the birds are most active. Okay. Other times you might spot them, but then mornings and evenings are when you can spot them to the most. Okay. So that is the time. And it's always good to go in groups because it will help you in identifying. You can consult each other and identify so that it's more accurate, number one. Number two, you might also be going into some places where human habitation might be very less, right? So for safety reasons also it will help. Okay, so always form your own, I mean, to begin with, you can form 2 to 3 individuals, group of two to three individuals and go birding. Have binoculars if possible, but to begin with, it is not exactly necessary to have a binocular. You just observe things around, and if you have Merlin, that will help you mostly initially. Okay. So gradually you can purchase a binocular if that is possible. And as you become more and more kind of an expert, you can actually, if you can spend some more money, you can purchase a camera because it can catch the distant species, and you can enlarge it, and you can zoom in and see what kind of features it has got and what bird it is and so on. And also have an eBird ID so that you record whatever you have seen. Okay. Over a period of time, you would have piled up your species and you slowly become an expert in birding. Don'ts. You should not make any noise or minimize speaking. Okay. Because the human intervention itself is something that disturbs the very habitat of birds. So if you speak, it will further disturb them, and therefore, you may not be able to see half the species. When you are coming from there, they will fly away from this side. Okay, so don't speak. All consultations and other things can be done a little later, or you speak in a very low voice so that it's least disturbing. The second birding ethic is you should not focus so much on the nests. Okay, observe the nest for continuously for more than a minute, or take photographs of it, because there are certain species of birds which are which observe human beings and take cues from human beings' behavior. Okay, so for example, crows. If you observe a particular nest continuously, the crow will realize that there is a nest. And this is the truth, actually. Okay? So it can attack, it can eat the eggs, and it can destroy the habitats of other birds. Okay? So nests should not be focused upon so much. All right? And as far as possible, try to stay within the safe zone. Don't get into risky zones. And by risky zone, there's not so much of risky zones within the campus, of course, but then when you see that there's a lot of bushes or a lot of dense trees, don't get into that, okay? And whenever you go, as I said, go in the groups of 2 or 3 so that it's not so, it's rather safe, okay? So I think, yeah, I mean, these are some of the, I mean, these are a couple of snakes that one can find on the campus. It is not necessary that you will spot them. I have been on campus for the last 24 years, I'll say. And I have spotted cobra only 3 times. I have seen cobra only 3 times in those 24 years. Okay. So it's possible that you pass all your 4 years without spotting a cobra or without spotting a python. Okay. But don't be surprised if, on your way from hostel to your class, you see something big crossing your road, a lump of thing. Sometimes it happens, but usually it's in the dusk. Okay, in the dusk you can find pythons, and cobras you can find probably anytime. Okay, and other venomous snakes could be kraits and vipers, but kraits and vipers are seen quite less. Cobras can be spotted comparatively more than kraits and vipers. That's my experience in the past. But you don't have to be worried. As I said, you can't spot them always. Very rarely they are spotted. Pythons are spotted a little more than these venomous snakes. Okay, but pythons are not so very harmful. Baby pythons, they say, bites a little more than the adult python. Adult pythons for us is not a problem. It could be problematic only for small kids, actually. Okay. So then other species of snakes are rat snake. You can find rat snake quite rampant. You can find them, you will certainly find them before you leave this campus. Okay, but don't be afraid of rat snakes. If you don't find that U mark on the hood, it is mostly the rat snake. Okay. Then there are keelbacks and other species which you might find sometime. So I think with that, let me finish. Don't be afraid of fauna on campus. We have hardly had any snake bite or any other attacks by animals. Very rarely, sometimes we see foxes also on campus. Not so very much though. So don't be worried about fauna, don't be worried about snakes. They are supposed to exist with us in the campus on this earth, okay? So with that note, let me finish this. If you need any more information, you can always contact me. And if you want to see more of these photographs, please come to me and we can have, or we can spend more time together, okay? So thank you so much. Have a nice time at NITK. All the best to all of you.
Thank you, sir. As a token of gratitude, I would like to hand over a small memento to Professor Shashi.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, so coming to the end of this session, we hope that with all these sessions, you will feel more connected and prepared to take on the challenges and rewards of your academic journey. So I congratulate you all for having secured a seat in this institute, and I wish you all the very best for all your future. So with this, we will close this session, and there is important announcement to be made. So all of you are requested to gather in the pavilion at sharp 2. Batch B1 and B2 will be moving to Pellicula today, and they have to be there at sharp 2 o'clock because the bus will not wait for long. They will just leave. So if you have to go to Pellicula, be on time, maybe 5 minutes earlier. And the timetable for today's afternoon session is going to be yesterday. So 19th, whatever session was, whatever timetable was given, that will be followed today. So with this announcement, I close and I wish you all the best. Good afternoon.